Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, good evening. It is evening. We're broadcasting at a little bit of a different time than we normally do for the AllBrands show, but it is here. It's time for the Houston Quilt Festival, and this is our preview night. So get excited. I'm excited. I hope you all watching at home are excited. This is going to be a really fantastic festival, you guys. I'm so excited for you to see all of it. So if you are new here, my name is Callie, and I normally host the AllBrands show for AllBrands, but I am hosting the virtual booth of the Houston Quilt Festival for us this year, and I could not be more excited about it. So we have a jam-packed preview night for you. But before we get to our first demo of the evening, I did just want to say that we have a few little announcements. So we are currently running a mask decorating competition. So if you would like, you can go to allbrands.com/mask, and you have, I think it's about 8 days left until this competition ends. Decorate your mask, decorate a CDC approved mask, Halloween themed, fall themed, whatever you like. Take a picture of it and upload it either on our website or upload it to your Facebook or your Instagram using the hashtag AllBrandsMask, and that will enter you in. Then you can vote on your favorite masks, and the winner will receive over $1,000 in prizes. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I also did want to say, guys, if you aren't following us on social media just yet, please go ahead and like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and sign up for our newsletter. All of that information is in the description of this video, both on Facebook and on YouTube. And stay tuned. We are going to be doing giveaways throughout. We are going to be doing some really awesome demos. And oh, guys, it is so exciting to see all of you here again for the Houston Quilt Festival. Let's say hello to some folks down in the chat. So we got Annette Parsons over in Florida. We got Kathy over in Nevada. Great to see you. Oh my gosh, Arnell, this is going to be so exciting. I am super, super excited about this. And oh my gosh, it's so good to see you again, Anne, as always. Patty from Illinois. We've got Sheila over in California. Josie, it's always great to see you in our chat. So thank you so much for joining us today. We got Judy, good morning from Australia. It's a bit of an early start for you, but great way to start your morning with the Houston Quilt Festival. Always great to see you, Sandra Bro, over in Louisiana. Great to see you again, Beth, and it's great to see you, Debbie. Thank you all so very much for tuning in today. So we have a jam-packed schedule. Let me go ahead and show you what our schedule is going to be like today. This is the schedule for Wednesday and Sunday. Wednesday is over on the left of your screen there. We're going to start off with 2 pre-recorded demos that we've gotten from Reen Wilcoxson over at Embroidery Garden and from Heather Banks, an awesome brother educator and friend of the show. So let me go ahead and cue that demo up from Reen, and let's go ahead and get started with our first demo of our preview night. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to all of our live coverage of the Houston Quilt Festival. This segment is being pre-recorded, so unfortunately we won't be able to answer any of your questions live on the air with Reen, but if you do have any questions, we will be able to answer them in the chat. So with me today, I have Reen Wilcoxson from Embroidery Garden, and we are going to be showing you a really fantastic demo on the Brother Luminaire. Reen, I will just let you take it away.
Thanks, Callie. Hi, everyone. I'm Reen Wilcoxson from Embroidery Garden, and today I'm going to show you a couple things. I am going to show you how to do this cute in the hoop. I'm going to call it a machine mat. You can put it underneath your machine so that the machine kind of rests on the top part, and a little pocket down here could catch thread scraps. It could hold some notions for you, scissors, etc. But what we're going to do is we're going to learn about this type of quilting that is referred to as edge to edge, end to end, all over. There are different names for it, but there are 2 built-in edge to edge type of designs on the Luminaire or the Luminaire 2. If you have the Luminaire and you've upgraded it with the Kit 2, you would have these 2 quilting designs. And then after I get done showing you how to line them up, I'm going to go into my design center, and I'm going to show you how to turn it into this in the hoop little machine mat. So let's go over what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the Luminaire XP2. I am going to be using the dime snap hoop. One is the 9.5 by 14. I'm going to be using some dime stabilizer. This is their no-show stabilizer. It's a lightweight, soft cutaway. I'm going to be using exquisite thread. I'm using a 7511 needle and a pre-wound bobbin. You can see I've already gone ahead and I have stitched the first half of this quilting design. And the reason I did that is, one, for time, and two, because if you are working on a whole quilt, you're not going to sit down and do it all in one sitting. You're going to have to stop the machine and, you know, come back to it another day. So the idea is going to be how you line this up. We're not actually doing a quilt today. I am quilting fabric. If I have time later on, I'm going to show you a project that I've been working on that is an actual quilt that I've been doing this technique on, that has a backing and has batting and has a top. So let's go to the machine to see how we're going to do this. I'm going to change my camera. All right, so we're over here at the machine, and let me just put who brought her here. With the machine up. So to find these quilting designs I'm referring to, we are in embroidery mode on the machine. I'm going to hit category 1, and I'm going to scroll all the way over to the very last category, number 15. And if you scroll all the way down, remember this is on a Luminaire 2, or if you have upgraded your machine from a 1 to a 2, you're going to find these 2 quilting designs down here. Let's just look at both of them. This one is kind of a feathery looking design, very pretty. I could see it being used on almost any type of quilt. I'm going to today use this little cute sewing themed quilting motif. So let's first let me go ahead and hit set so we can see it really large. So the whole idea of these types of designs are, it has a starting point, and this one, it starts over here, and then to stitch the design is going to end over here. And what you do is you take these designs and then you match them up so that they look like an all over quilting pattern when you're finished. And with the Luminaire, it's really easy to do because you have certain features of the Luminaire that are going to help you. So what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to show you how to bring in that other pattern to line it up here. And this is where I stopped. And you're going to notice I have a long tail, a thread tail. You want that. So we're going to get ready to line up this new design with the one that I've already stitched. So the first thing I have to do is this design, if you look up here, it's come in at almost 10 by 15. So it's for the big hoop. What's really great about these built-in designs are that you can edit them. So let's click edit. And on this one, I'm going to resize it because I'm just quilting fabric. If I were doing a whole quilt, this size would be perfect because I could do some simple math and figure out how many hoopings I would need to go across my quilt and to go down my quilt. But on this project that I'm doing today, I'm going to resize it, and I'm going to use this button right here to resize. This is the resize button that is going to regenerate the stitches. Now this just is a running stitch design, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. And the machine is asking me to reset the pattern to its original size and position. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to resize it. And I'm just going to take this design down all the way, as far down as I can get it, as small as it'll go. And the machine will tell you when you've reached that point. And I reached the point right there. Hear the knock, knock? That means it won't go any smaller. So for this particular design, I need to rotate it for the project that I'm working on. So let's go back up to edit. And I'm going to rotate. Whoops, I hit the wrong one. That's all right. My mouse is being a little crazy here. I'll reset it. And I'm going to rotate 90 to the left. And let me just touch it here. My mouse is being a little crazy on me today. Okay, so I have it where I need it according to size and position. So I'll hit OK. And now I need to line it up with the design that I've already stitched. Now again, remember, it's going to start stitching here and it's going to end up here. So let's hit embroidery and get ready to stitch. And I'm going to use the projector. The projector is this cone-shaped little icon. And what it's doing is it's going to project this design down onto my hoop. Okay, now this is where I left off. And let's see if I can't get a little better angle for you here. Let's see, I think you're going to be able to see this. So you could, I'm going to have to move the design up some. I keep moving it up until I need to find that starting position. And I believe it's coming up, and there it is. You can see where the design is actually going to start stitching is right here. And I need to line this point up with where I ended. And I see that the light, it's a little hard to see. I do need to move it up. And hopefully you can see it. I know it is a little, there's glare. I got a real sunny day today, but I'm trying to line up that start point with where I ended. And it looks like I'm right there. And here you can see my tail, and then you can see the start point on the next design. Let me just move the camera back. And now that I have it lined up, what I like to do is use the advanced stitch key and advance the design one step. This is where it's going to start. And I can look and I can see if I'm exactly lined up by pressing needle down. And it looks like I am exactly where I need to be. So what I'm going to do, I press needle down, I press needle up. And what I'm doing is I'm bringing up my bobbin thread. So I've got my bobbin thread, my top thread, and then this was my thread that I ended with. You want all these to be on the top side of the hoop, because what we're going to do is after it's done stitching, I'm going to thread a needle with these tails, and I'm going to take it to the back side. Now, again, this project isn't a quilt, meaning there is no backing on it right now. There is no fabric down here on the bottom. But if you were doing an actual quilt, you would have backing fabric on, and you would want to bring the tails to the back side, knot them off, and bury them in the layers. One thing I want to do also, and let me show you this on the machine, come back. You want to turn your cutter off. So meaning when this machine, when the design starts or stops, you want the cutter to be turned off, and it's going to be in color trim. Just click it so that it's not highlighted, because you want those long tails. You don't want the machine to knot and cut the tails so that it leaves a knot on the back side. You want your back side to look as nice as the front side does. So I'm going to turn you back to the machine because we're getting ready now to stitch this step. I'm going to lower the foot, press the button, and it's going to start stitching. Keep that little thread out of the way a little bit. And it's going to go and it's going to stitch the top half of the design. So we'll let this stitch. And then we're going to go into my design center, which is kind of the built-in digitizing part of the machine. My design center is on the Luminaire. It's on the 10 needle, and I believe it's on a few of the other top-of-the-line Brother machines. You can see that this design is like it's an actual quilting design. It's doing a running stitch, and it's continuous, and it's going to end up looking really cute. I think the sewing motif is a really cute little design. It can be used on so many things. So if you were doing a large quilt, you could size these two built-in designs on the Luminaire to whatever size you needed so that you could do some simple math and resize the quilting file so that it would fit your quilt perfectly going across the width and going top to bottom. That's why I like using these two built-in designs, because you had that option of changing the size on them. It only takes a couple minutes for these designs to stitch. If you were doing a large quilt, after this portion got done stitching, you would line up your next file and go ahead and stitch it. While this is finished stitching, I think I will change the camera, and I'm going to show you kind of what I mean by when I say lining up another file. All right, so this is the project I've been working on. It's a little fall quilt, and I've been doing this type of quilting on it. I've been using the dime magnetic hoop. Let me just kind of hold it up here a little bit for you. And you can probably see, let's find where I ended. I ended right over here. Here, let's see, where's my tail at that I ended? Here it is. So again, this is my tail that I ended, this file here. Now I'm ready to line up my next file. I like to print them out sometimes just so that, you know, it gives me an idea of how it's going to get laid out. But I would just re-hoop this again in my magnetic hoop, line up where the next file starts with where I ended, and stitch this file, then go unhoop, line it up again, and continue stitching. Let me show you the back. That's where you can really see the quilting on this. Hopefully you can see it. So it's these little sunflowers that I've been stitching on here. I've been using Cuddle Minky on the back side, and it looks beautiful. You can't even tell where I stopped and started on this. So this is kind of what I'm talking about to do if you are doing a quilt. We are doing a small little project today. Anyone in the AllBrands booth can help you. The brother educators can show you more of this in depth and answer a lot of the questions that you have. Let's go back to the machine and see what's going on with what I've been stitching. All right, so the file is done stitching. I've got the second one. You're going to notice that I didn't cut the tails because the machine, I told it not to. So I'm just going to leave a long tail here. And if I were doing a quilt, again, if I were doing a quilt, I would line my next file up here and then quilt it. And that's how easy this is to do, especially with the projector that's built in on the machine. But we're going to take this and we're going to turn it into that little in the hoop project. I will take a needle and thread and thread these tails and bring them to the back side. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't have my glasses on and it would take me a while to do it. So we're just going to pretend that I threaded these tails and I pulled them to the back side of the hoop and knotted them off. So let's get ready now to turn this into our little mat, our in the hoop project that we're going to use our quilted fabric on. So let's go back to the screen of the machine. I'm going to hit OK because I'm finished embroidering. Go back to the little house that takes me home, asking me to cancel what's on the screen. That's OK. Okay, so to make our mat, we're going to go into my design center. This is the digitizing part of the machine. It's the built-in kind of auto digitizing section. And we're going to make the in the hoop part that's going to stitch the mat together. So if you let's look at our mat again, and you're going to see it's a big rectangle, how it got stitched together. So I need a shape. Let's go into shapes, and I'm going to pick a square, and I'm going to hit OK. Now I did a little measuring to determine how big of a rectangle that I need to stitch my mat together. And let's go into size to get that size figured out. It needs to be about 9¼ inches wide. So I'm going to use the button that's going to make it larger. And I'm watching that bottom number because I want to get to 925. Almost there. There 925 is the width. That's the bottom number. The height, I needed that to be at about 11.65. And okay, I'm there. I'm going to hit OK. Now, it defaults to a zigzag stitch. You can see the big zigzag up there. I don't want my mat to be sewn together with a zigzag. So I'm going to hit that zigzag, and it takes me to the line properties. What I want is a running stitch, and that's the second icon here. I'm going to change to a green color only so that you can see the change that's going to happen. To apply that running stitch, I need to hit the bucket that's under the line properties and then touch the rectangle that I created, and it turned green. So now the stitch will stitch all the way around, and we need an opening so that we can turn it to the right side when it's finished. So I'm going to make an opening by using the eraser. When the eraser opens up, it gives you two choices. You could have a round eraser or a square. I'll just use a square. You can make the eraser larger if you want. I'll just make it a little bit larger so maybe you can see it a little bit better. And so I'm going to make my opening at the top. So I'm just going to take my finger and erase what I think looks like a good opening. I'm going to hit OK. So now this is ready to stitch out. I'm going to hit next. On this screen, if I wanted to, I could edit this. Let's say, for example, I wanted a triple stitch maybe to stitch this together. I could hit edit, then the triple stitch and hit OK, and it would change it for me. Now it's going to, we're done with this. We're ready to move on. When you hit set, it tells you that it's going to convert the embroidery pattern, and we're going to leave my design center, and it's asking you if that's okay. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm on the embroidery part of the machine. So we're going to get ready to embroider this. I hit embroidery. Now, how do I know that this rectangle that I created is going to stitch where it needs to? We're going to use the projector again. So I'm going to hit the cone. It's going to project this big rectangle onto the screen. I'm going to drag the box down here to the bottom so that I can see where it lines up. And let's see if I can get you to be able to see where it lines up. So this green line, this straight line, it's right here. You can see it's kind of high. I mean, I need it to be just a little bit above those ending lines right there, my thread tails. So I'm going to use my arrow buttons, and I'm going to move the pattern down. See how it came down? I can bring it down as much as I need it to be. I just want to make sure that my stitch line, and it kind of goes a little crazy with the colors when you get close to it like this. But my stitch line now is right here. My thread tails are below it, so I know that I'm good. I'm going to use the box, and I'm moving the box all the way up to the top because I want to make sure that this little ending area up here is not going to be seen when the design gets done stitching, when it stitches it all together. So it looks like it's going to be good. I'm hitting OK. But wait, I want a pocket. And I'm going to try to move this a little bit closer so that you can see it. So to add a pocket, all I did was I took a folded piece of fabric, the same width as the fabric I have in the hoop. I folded it wrong sides together and pressed it, and that's going to be my pocket. I could use either side. I like this side better. And I'm going to place it really wherever I want, just knowing that my stitch line, when it stitches it together, is about right here. So I need to have this end of the fabric, the raw edge, so that make sure that it's going to be caught by the stitch line. And that looks like it's going to be good. All I need is one more piece of fabric, and this will lay right side down over the top of the hoop. Let me just get it over there. And remember, we would have taken these thread tails and threaded them in a needle and brought them to the back side. This is all nice and smooth, and I'm ready to stitch. So I'm just going to push the go button, and it's going to stitch all the way around in a running stitch, and it's going to leave an opening there at the top of the hoop, and that's how we're going to turn this to the right side. So this is one that I stitched previously, the exact same way. I have taken it out of the hoop. I trimmed around it. I trimmed a 1/4 inch past the stitching all the way around. There's my 1/4 inch. I left it longer at my opening because I'm going to have some fabric to be able to turn in and hide it. And I clipped my corners diagonally to get the bulk out of them. All I have to do is reach inside. And I will show you on this one, there's where I brought those thread tails to the back and knotted them off. And I'm just going to turn this. I'm going to get my little tool that I like to poke my corners out. And our little project is going to be done. Let me try and see if I can't get you to see that quilting file there. See how nicely it lined up. Once I turn my raw edges in, I can close them with hand sewing. I can close them with fusible tape. It's not really going to matter. Get all those threads down inside and give it a nice press. And you can see I have my little mat with my pocket here to put notions or anything in. And that's really how easy it is to create something like this in the hoop and with an all over type of quilting design.
All right, guys. So that was Reen's pre-recorded demo for the show today. I really hope you enjoyed that. If you did miss it, we will be showing it a little bit later. We'll be showing it tomorrow, pretty much every day of the festival. It's going to be on our schedule. So we have one more pre-recorded demo for you today as well. But in the meantime, let's just say hello to some people in the chat. I wanted to take some time to tell everybody hello. And again, thank you so much to Reen Wilcoxson for that fantastic demo. Unfortunately, she couldn't be with us in person at Houston Quilt Fest this year, but we still wanted to have a demo of hers as part of our schedule. So we were really thankful to her for helping us out and still giving us a really awesome demo. And I hope you guys make that mat at home. We'll have this, you can replay that tutorial if you like once we go off the air today. So you definitely try that out. If you haven't yet, definitely join our Sew Forum Facebook group. You can post your pictures of your mat in there. It's a fantastic group. It's great for in progress projects and finished project pictures and some help, guidance, anything like that for your projects. And a link to join that should be in the description of this video, both on Facebook and on YouTube. So definitely check that out. And you guys, I also wanted to point out to you, we've been working really hard behind the scenes to grow our YouTube channel. We have been doing so much to make that happen. But I noticed that only about, I think about 30% of the people who watch our videos are subscribed. The rest of the people who watch our videos are not subscribed. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not subscribed to our channel, or if you're watching this on Facebook and you don't like us on Facebook, go ahead and do that. We have been posting, or we will be posting, a lot of content for Houston Quilt Fest and moving forward into the end of the year, into next year. So please keep an eye out for that. We'll be posting some fantastic education for you all. But yeah, guys, go ahead and drop where you're watching from down in the chat. I want to say hello to some people. We've got Lisa over in New Jersey. Howdy, Lisa. It's so great to see you. Let's see who else we've got in the chat. We've got Jenny over in Arkansas. Well, hi, Jenny. Thank you so much for watching. Barbara Jones, I love seeing you, Barbara Jones, in the chat. Always great to see you. Barbara says, I love learning from Reen. She makes so much sense, and she does. Reen makes everything look so easy, and I love that so much. It's really fantastic seeing a great tutorial from her. And yes, it's really good to see you too. Anne is watching over in Virginia. Always good to see you, Anne. We've got Cindy over in Indiana. Always great to see you. We've got Shirley over in Central Iowa. So good to see you. And Josie brings up a very good point. Josie just checked her YouTube and subscribed with the bell. That is very important. So if you look at our YouTube channel, if you are already subscribed, there should be a little button icon next to that subscribe button. Go ahead and tap that. That will send you notifications. Every time we go live, it'll send you notifications every time we post something in our community tab, or anytime we post just regular non-live pre-recorded content that we put on our channel. We've got a lot of education there, and I'm hoping that you guys check that out after the show. Yes, Josie, you gotta have that bell. Very, very important. We've got Anne over in Lady Lake, Florida. We've got Sandy in St. Louis. Diane, yes, oh my gosh, we have so much info. We have so much info just for the festival too, so stay tuned for that. We've got Robin over in Anchorage, Alaska. Cinda from Connecticut. Edna from Chattanooga. We've got Sherry over in Claremont, Florida. Janice over in Colorado. Oh my gosh, you guys. So let's go ahead and get started with our next demo. We have Heather Banks was able to pre-record some more demos for us as well. And I'm really excited about these. She's going to go in depth on some of Brother's online models. So yes, you can purchase these Brother models that she will be demoing throughout the weekend online, and you can purchase them on our website. If you go to allbrands.com/quiltfest, go down to that schedule, go ahead and click Heather's name, and you can shop product there. There's a category page dedicated to everything that Heather is going to be talking about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and show that demo from Heather, and then we will get to some live content from the show floor over in Houston, and we'll be joining Barbara and some of our educators over there.
Hi from the AllBrands booth at Quilt Festival. I'm Heather Banks, one of your Brother educators, and in this session, I'll be demonstrating the SE 1900, a combination sewing and embroidery machine. Are you looking for a conveniently sized combo machine with lots of bells and whistles? Stick around. Brother's SE 1900 is a combination sewing and embroidery machine. It's high quality, sturdy, and you can use it within minutes of taking it out of the box. Who might want to get one? Well, if space is at all a concern, this machine fits beautifully on a desk or table. Or maybe you only have room for one machine and it needs to be a combination machine. If you are ready for a second embroidery machine, or you want to increase your business size, this would be a wonderful machine to add. If you love to travel and sew when you go on a trip, maybe you have an RV or you stay in a hotel room, this machine will fit beautifully in the back seat of your car or a cupboard, and who doesn't love to sew on vacation? And finally, if you are new to embroidery, this would be a great way to be introduced to embroidery while still owning a sewing machine. Let's take a look at everything that comes with the SE 1900, the sewing and embroidery machine combo. In addition to the main body and the embroidery arm, you'll find a wide assortment of tools, from needles to screwdrivers to thread caps, an extra bobbin case, and a wide assortment of feet for sewing. A 5x7 embroidery hoop is also included with this machine. This machine includes a buttonhole foot and a foot for sewing on buttons, a blind hem foot, a general sewing foot, a zipper foot, a monogramming foot, and an overcasting foot. The alternative bobbin case can be used for experimenting with different weights of bobbin thread. This bobbin case is easily identifiable with the purple dot on the center. This case includes an adjustable screw for changing tension depending on the type of thread you're using. Let's remove the sewing table with the fold-out storage tray and attach the embroidery arm. The embroidery arm slides into place where the sewing table was located. You should hear it click into place, and then you'll know it's attached. Now that the embroidery arm is on, we can turn on the machine. There is a full-color touch screen on the SE 1900. There are 138 built-in embroidery designs. This is a nice feature because not only does it allow you to see the design in detail, it also lets you see just how much room the design will take in each hoop size. This is a 5x7 hoop, and you can see how much room the design will take up. If I were to use a 4x4 hoop or a 4" by 4" hoop, this is how much room the design would take up in this hoop. It is too large for the very smallest 1.5 by 2" hoop, so this hoop is actually grayed out. As you can see, as you scroll through the designs, there are a variety from seasonal to floral to animals. In addition, there is a floral alphabet. Now you are able to do editing on screen of your embroidery designs. You can resize, move them around, rotate. Let's take a look at some of these. You can use the arrows to move your design up and down, but you can also just use your finger or stylus to move the designs around on the screen. You can resize them. They will automatically resize to the highest and lowest point at which the density will still be perfect, at which point they will still stitch out. So you don't have to worry that you may be making your designs too large or too small. They will also rotate. You can do them in increments of 1 degree, 10 degrees, 90 degrees. You can also mirror image your designs and then delete and start over. So let's go ahead and look at how we can combine designs. Let's choose a design to put on the screen. There are applique designs as well built into the machine. So here, this is an applique. Let's move forward and look at how that works. So here on the screen, you can see this looks a little different than your normal embroidery color because we will have a placement stitch, a tack down stitch, and a finishing stitch. But let's say this was going to be our design. We can add, and let's say we wanted to add a monogram or a name. Let's do a monogram and set that on the screen. So then we can move these around and basically we're able to add or combine designs. We can also change thread color. So you can see here that my monogram is highlighted, and I can change it to different colors that are available on the screen. And this will give me a different look so I can see exactly what I'm going to get. If I press the magnify key, I can magnify my design up to 300%, which really allows me to see the details. So this is what our design would look like stitched out. If we go ahead and take this back to the 100%, and you'll see here there is a pocket with a red arrow. This allows us to save the design. So we can save to the machine, or we can save to a USB flash drive. There is a flash drive port on this machine. So you can import designs into your machine using your flash drive or save. Let's go to the end of our embroidery. So basically what this means is we are finished editing. There is another feature here, and this is the trace or outline button. And when we press this, this will do an outline. It will move the embroidery arm around so that you're able to see exactly how much space this design will take up into your hooped fabric. Let's move to our embroidery screen because we're all complete with everything that we want to do to make changes. Okay, now that we're at the final screen, you have some information here at the top. The screen will show you how many stitches there are to be complete in this project, how long it will take to stitch, and the number of thread changes. In case of a broken stitch or needing to change a bobbin thread, you can also move backwards and forwards in your stitches. So if I were to push this number, you can see I know exactly how far into my design I am. Okay, let's begin stitching so you can see exactly how this machine works. Before we begin stitching, let me show you how you can thread this machine. Brother embroidery machines have a numbered system. The numbers are printed on the exterior of the machine. So I'm just following the numbers through. When I get to the end, I'll go behind the needle bar, and then I'll finish by coming in front of the machine and cutting off the tail of the thread. Now this machine uses the lever that you see on the left side of the machine to thread. So I will lower my presser foot and then press the lever down. And that's all that's needed to thread the machine. Let's look at that a little bit closer. Okay, I bring the thread in the front of the machine, cut off the tail, lower the presser foot, and press the lever on the side. And that's all that's necessary to thread the machine. It works wonderfully if seeing something as small as an eye of a needle is difficult, and there's no need to lick the ends of your thread and attempt to get that right in that small eye. I know I very much appreciate this feature. Let's begin stitching. I'll lower the presser foot and then press the start button. I've changed out the embroidery foot for the J foot so that we can begin sewing. Changing the feet on a brother machine is simple. Simply press the button in the back to release the foot and slide the new foot underneath. Now that we're on the sewing side of the machine, you can see the sewing stitches are up on the screen. There are 240 built-in sewing stitches and 10 different types of buttonholes. This is the main selection screen for stitches. In the top 5 categories are what are known as the utility stitches. These include buttonholes. They include just the regular straight stitch with a left justified needle and a right justified needle. This is a stem stitch for sewing knits. You'll find your zigzag stitches and basting stitches, a variety of stitches for overcasting your seam edges. If you garment sew, you don't have to have a serger. You can simply use these stitches along with the accompanying foot to finish off your edges. There are also stitches that have the letter P next to them, or Q, and these are for piecing and quilting. And the features of these stitches have been specially designed for quilting. The settings for each stitch are located at the top. The width and length can be changed right here. The left and right shift will allow you to move the needle back and forth, and of course you can change the tension. You'll notice as we change to a different stitch that the width and length change to the pre-programmed number and also tell you the foot that is recommended. Here is a basic blanket stitch like you might use for applique. There is a preset width and length, however you can easily change these. You will see on the left that the stitch changes so that you can visually see exactly what the stitch will look like when you're finished. These are our character decorative stitches. They tend to be our decorative, larger stitches that you might use for a variety of fun extras. There's some very large stitches. You can combine stitches, as you see right here. And then you can see what that looks like as well. There are even small lettering options, so you can spell out a name or personalize even on the sewing side. As you can see, there are a lot of on-screen editing options on the sewing side, just like there are on the embroidery side. As with all brother machines, we also can see that there is something we call My Custom Stitch. My Custom Stitch allows you to create your own stitches and make your own designs for sewing. So you can see here, just in those few quick options that I chose, I created my own unique stitch. And this is something only brother machines have. It's called My Custom Stitch. Let's do some sewing so you can see exactly how great this sewing machine is. Let's begin by sewing a basic straight stitch. I'll lower my presser foot. I'll do a tie off at the end of my stitch and begin stitching. Now this is being stitched at the presets, so I haven't made any adjustments. Now I have a scissors button, so I can automatically cut and stop stitching. And then you're able to see the quality of the stitches. Let's do something a little more exciting. Let's try a zigzag stitch, and we will make this one wider. So we'll take this up to about 6.5 millimeters in width and begin stitching. Now you could use the zigzag stitch for applique. You could use it also for finishing off the edges of your garments when stitching as well. I'm going to go ahead and cut this stitch so you can check it out. Lift our presser foot and compare it to the straight stitch. So again, that is a very high quality, very uniform wide zigzag stitch. What about the decorative stitches? So let's go ahead and try one of those. Now this is stitch 7-05, and notice that the machine is actually using the motor to step sideways. It does this automatically. There's no adjustments necessary on your part. And let's take a look at what that looks like. It's actually a very pretty decorative stitch. Again, very uniform. The stitches are nice and consistent. Let's try a different decorative stitch. This is stitch 806, and it is a satin stitch, decorative stitch. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the machine. And cut the thread so you can see what this looks like. If you want to make buttonholes, but you're a little uncertain about how to do it, this machine makes buttonholes simple. I'll lower the lever on the side of the machine, and then I've selected my buttonhole, and I'll simply press go. And that is a beautiful buttonhole that was simple and fast. Let's put on the overcasting foot. So I might use the overcasting foot to finish the edge of a seam. And here you can see that this has done a really nice job finishing off the edge of this seam. So if you want to finish your seam allowances in your garment sewing and you don't have a serger, or you just prefer not to get it out because you want to use something that's handy and available, this would work really well. This notebook cover was embroidered on cork using the SE 1900. I combined two designs. This is built into the machine, as is this lettering font. And you can see how very nice this turned out. It would make a great gift or a simple project just for yourself to have a place to put your notes. And again, this is on a cork and was embroidered with the 1900. This is an example of something that you could make as well. So these are buttonhole stitches that have been sewn in a row, and then ribbon was interspersed between the buttonholes. This is a set of decorative stitches. I combined two different decorative stitches, just like I showed you can do with this machine, to create very simple, pretty edging. And then I used a built-in embroidery font to finish the child's bib. With the 240 built-in sewing stitches and 138 embroidery stitches, you'll be creating in no time. And don't forget to visit AllBrands either online or in person at Quilt Festival for this special and so many others.
All right, you guys, so that was our demo, one of our demos from Heather Banks for the weekend. So Thank you so much to Heather Banks for pre-recording some really awesome demos for us. We hope you enjoy that. We hope that you learned a lot about the SC1900. It is a really fantastic little machine, and I really hope that Heather's demo demonstrated just how much you can do even straight out of the box, which I think is really, that's one of my favorite things to look at, is what you can get out of the box from a machine like that. Josie Soes is wondering, how many pounds does that weigh? We can check on that for you, Josie, and take a look. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think it's a very hefty machine. It is shipping. Oh, wait, here we go, Josie. The machine is about 22 pounds. Shipping, it's about 39 to 40, if you were curious about that. And Larry, yes, you're right. There are a lot that you can do with modern machines. It's a really nice little machine. And you guys, I wanted to reiterate, you can purchase this machine online. You can purchase this online on our website right now. I am posting a link to that machine in the chat right now. So if you do want to take a look at it, if you're thinking about buying it, definitely consider it. It is over on our website right now, and it has some amazing features like Heather showed. And yes, Heather is really a great instructor. She makes everything look so easy. And that's one thing that I love about all of the educators that we've got going for the festival this weekend. Everyone just makes it look so easy, because it totally is. And you can get on that level. You absolutely can. And Anne, yes, it is great to take to classes. It's a small machine. I do believe Brother does sell some luggage for that machine as well. So, you could very easily take this with you on the go. And yes, there is a travel tote that you can purchase with this machine. It is over on the recommended accessories for this machine. So yeah, this is, guys, these are our first two demos of the day. Cindy is wondering, do you offer any classes on this machine? On this machine, Cindy, we don't offer any one-on-one instruction, unfortunately, but we do have some videos over on our YouTube channel, some past lives, and some other information on Brother's YouTube channel that can offer you some really in-depth education on how to use this machine. Nilda, let me check on that warranty for you. I do believe there is an extra warranty you can add onto this machine. Let me double check that for you. Yes, there is a warranty that you can add to this machine for $49.99. It's a 5-year extended parts and labor warranty. That is over on our website. So definitely take a look. We're offering some other really incredible specials that I'm not going to get too into, because we still have so much more of the festival to go. And I would hate to just completely bombard you all with information this early in the fest. But we do have, and we will have, a lot of stuff. So just a few things before we go on to our next demo. You guys, this is the schedule for this evening. Unfortunately, I have just found out that the show closes at 9 p.m. So we will not be seeing Colleen Sweatman at the very end of our festival, but that's okay. That's just for today. You can see her again. You can see her again tomorrow over at the booth at 1:30 p.m. She's going to be talking about the same machines that she would have been talking about this evening. So there is that. Let's go ahead and say hello to some more people in the chat, because I want to see where everyone is, who's watching. We've got a lot of people watching right now, and thank you so much for tuning in. This is just the beginning. We are going to have a crazy action-packed show for you today. This is going to be, and for the rest of the weekend, this is going to be absolutely awesome. Carol Lombard, oh, it's so good to see you. It's so great to see everyone in the chat. I know that with COVID and everything, things are kind of slowing down, but there's still some hesitancy to get out, which is totally understandable. So we were really happy to put on a virtual aspect of this for you. Cindy says, I bought my first sewing and embroidery machine from Colleen in 2003. Oh, that's fantastic, Cindy. Colleen is awesome. Colleen is truly awesome. And I'm really excited for you guys to see all of her demos that are going to be going on throughout this weekend. Shirley, a good question. Colleen is a great demonstrator. Now, the time zone that we are going to be, that's all of our schedules are on, is Central Time over here in the US, since we are broadcasting from Houston, Central Time. But if you are curious, let me go ahead and pull this up again for you. We are coming up on a Westalee ruler work class with Quinn that is going to be live from our booth in Houston at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I believe that is 5 p.m. Pacific. So I hope that helps. Nilda, oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm really glad that you all are enjoying the show, and I'm really glad it's been super informative. This is something that I love to do. I love helping to teach all of you, and I love sparking a little bit of creativity in everyone who's watching. This has been really fantastic. And yes, the Kirksifs over on YouTube bring up a fantastic point. For the floral alphabet design on the SE1900, you can stitch it out without the flowers. It's totally doable. And yes, it is a very versatile alphabet. So yes, it might not have the same amount of features as it would as something like the XP2, the XJ1, something like that. But it's still an incredibly versatile machine, especially for the price. So go ahead and check that out. Karina is wondering, when is Angela Wolf coming on? So Angela Wolf is going to be joining us on Friday, I believe. Here, let me pull up that schedule for you guys so you can take a look at that. Yes, Angela Wolf will be joining us at 12:30 p.m. on Friday. She's going to be doing the XP2. This is 12:30 Central, by the way. She'll be doing it at 12:30 Central and at 5 p.m. Central Friday, and the same time zones again, or the same times in that Central time zone on Saturday. So I hope that answers your question, Karina. I hope that helps. So let's see who else we've got in the chat. We've got Nancy Gonzalez. We've got Stephanie Olson. Oh, it's so great to see all of you in the chat. And please continue to join us for the rest of the festival. We are not stopping this entire weekend. We are broadcasting everything. So everything that we are going to be showing at the booth, you will be able to see both on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And yes, Shirley, I can't wait for Angela too. Yes, Wolfpack indeed. Let me know in the comments if you're watching from the Wolfpack and you're watching us today, because I love Angela Wolf is a fantastic educator and I love her demos. And I love hearing from all of you and seeing what you're up to, where you're watching, what you're watching for, what you're looking for. That definitely helps us a lot in deciding how to tailor our content to you. So please let me know. I'm always curious about that. And just another reminder, you guys, if you are curious about anything that we've got going on this entire weekend, please go check out allbrands.com/quiltfest. That is allbrands.com/quiltfest. And that is where all of our specials, our schedule, everything is going to be, and everything is for the entire weekend. So you can see the schedule, you can see all of our specials that we've got running. Some of them you cannot see pricing online, but if you are at the show, you'll be able to see it. We've got some more Wolfpackers. Oh, Karina's from Norway. That's really exciting. Oh my goodness. We got Wolfpack in the house tonight. Oh my goodness. So great to see you guys. Wow. Wow. We got a lot of people. And Liz, you're very welcome. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that we're able to keep you up to date. Again, I know that it is, and it has been really difficult and crazy to get to Houston. But I hope that you are still getting a great experience virtually. I know we've only been live for about an hour, but hopefully this is a good indication of what the rest of the weekend has in store. And I'm really excited about the rest of today. So for the rest of today, let's go ahead and pull that schedule up again one more time for those of you who are curious. We just got through our Embroidery Garden virtual. We just got through Heather Banks, one of her brother online demos here. So that is out of the way. Those are done. Coming up for the rest of the evening, we have Quinn, who will be at the AllBrands booth doing some really awesome ruler work stuff with So Steady Westalee's ruler templates. We've also got Jerry Granata coming up this evening. And then we've got Rosemary and Barb, Mikolajczyk. So I'm very excited. But I believe we are ready to get to our next demo. So let me go ahead and bring up live from the booth over in Houston. All right, guys, we ready?
Hi, everybody. My name is Quinn. I'm an educator for So Steady Products, and I am thrilled to be here at Houston. I've been wanting to come for 2 years, so I'm so excited to be back. And I want to share. How you guys doing? Did you catch it? So my name is Kate Quinn. I'm an educator for Sew Steady. It seems like we might have had a little sound issue, so I wanted to make sure that you know who I am. And today I'm sharing the Brother. This is the BQ2450. It's a fabulous quilting machine. And I'm going to show you how to set it up so that you can do ruler work if you want to use your Sew Steady products and your Westalee tools. Right now, I've got my ruler foot on the machine. I've already screwed it in. I've adjusted the height. And you'll notice that I've got this amazing glider on here. This is the Sew Steady Grid Glider. And what it does is it seamlessly integrates the full surface of the machine. So there's no gap here. There's no gap here. Everything is able to be very, very smooth. So if I put a ruler on it right here, everything is going to be very flat, very flush. So the ruler's not going to be wiggling around and moving in a weird way. Right now, the set that I'm going to share with you, I'm going to share the Fun and Fancy set. So I'm going to put those tools up so you can see them really quick. The Fun and Fancy set is a collection of actually my favorite templates. And what we did is we created some education to go with it. So we have quite a bit of different designs that you can make with these tools. And it's this set right here. There's one more hiding down in here, and that's the inside of the circle of the oval. So he's going to go right there. With the Fun and Fancy book, this is the design book that goes with it. So you can see there's over 100 different designs in here, and all of the designs are illustrated, how you would use the ruler, how you would move it, little tips to make it easier. And you can go ahead and use this as a jumping off point to innovate and make whatever designs that you may want to make. It's not that you're limited to this 100 and plus, but it's a good starting point. A lot of people come to us and they say, I don't know where to start. So this is education. There's also video content available, and all of these can work together and make some really pretty designs. So this is what's in the set, and if you buy both of them, then there's some discounts for video education plus free content as well. So I'm going to just scoot these off, and I'm going to show you another tool that I brought. This is called the crosshair square. This would allow me to mark all these 8 lines, and then I can use them for my design. So I'm going to mark them right here on the center of this fabric, and let me get my little marker out. I got everything in here. All right, so this is just a Clover Choco liner, and I've got just some powdered chalk in there. And I'll mark all of these lines really quickly. What I like about being able to use this is I can mark all these lines very fast, and they're very accurate. They're all the same distance apart. So I need to go ahead and put a little chalk right here in the center to just mark my little center dot right there, since I didn't bring my other pen. Once I do that, if I lift it off, you can see here's all the lines. So I'll lift it up right there so you can see it really good. So all the lines are marked really well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little pin right in the center right now. It's just a simple tack. It's nothing fancy. It actually will come with the rulers. You don't have to buy it separately. It's part of the kit. And I'll mark the center initially by putting it right through. And then I'm going to actually take it out, and I'm going to put it so that the tack is sticking up. Once I do that, I can actually find that little hole. It makes it really easy to see what I'm doing. Okay. Now, with the ruler foot on, I can sew with this first template. This one is called the Circles on Quilts 21. And the pinhole is actually drilled right through the base of this template. There's a little tiny hole right on the bottom. So I'll just put that on. And this line that's right up at the top, I can line this template up right on that line. So I'll just adjust it, line it up. There's an A and a B right here. I'm going to just get my foot control. So I'm going to put my foot right at A, and I'll pick up the thread so that the bobbin is up on the top. And I'll set my needle right in that little A space, and I'll get lined up. All right, here we go. So right now, I'm just going to move that fabric. If I don't move the fabric, then nothing's going to happen. I have to actually do the work and move the fabric for it to sew. So at this point, I'll just rotate, and there's some little white lines right on the template that I'm lining up on this line I already stitched. So right there, there's a little white line. You can see it right there. And I'm going to line it up. And I'll also check and make sure that this is lined up again. So right here on this little line, I'll be lining that up, and then I'll be ready to sew the next one. So what it is that the foot is keeping that needle away from the edge of the template. On every side, if the foot is a circle and the needle's in the middle, it's a 1/4 inch to the outside edge of this ruler foot on every side, no matter where it's touching. So this particular template actually sews 4 petals. So we'll just keep rotating it and get it lined up, and we'll sew all 4 of them. Okay, wait for the needle to stop, and then we'll do the last one. Again, we'll get it lined right up on that reference line. And now we can use both sides of the alignment. We can line up both sides of that template. And right there, this is where I'm going to introduce another tool that we have. So this is called the spacing gauge, and it's this part right here. And then this is a little necklace that I have to hold on to it. And I can measure right at a 1/4 inch, which is the same distance from the needle to the edge of the foot. And then when I sew in, I should end right where I started. So I'll just come in and I'll close my design, and then I'll just tie it off with a few stitches right there. Okay, and then I'm just going to pick up my needle, and I'm going to just do the other ones. So I'll go ahead and get this lined up right back at A, and we'll just sew this one more time really quickly so we can get this little design in the center. There's only 4 petals, so as long as we just keep moving this around and get it lined up, we'll be able to complete the design. Each time as I'm sewing, I'm activating these grips, the little stable tapes on here. I'm letting them kind of stick to the fabric, keeps the ruler from moving around, and then I'll just keep finishing up that design. I'm going to try to cut these threads real quick. They're kind of getting in my way. All right, and we'll do that last one. So right here, I'm on the last one. I'll be able to tie off this design. And then I'll show it to you. So I'm going to do a little tacking stitches right here at the end to close it off. So I'm just going to pull up that bobbin thread and cut all those threads off. I'll pull this off. We'll just cut all those threads. So here's what we've got so far. And we'll kind of show the camera too. So this is the Circles on Quilts 21. And we've talked a little bit about this tool. I want to show you another way that we can use it. And we're going to use one other template that's in that set. So one of the fun ones that's in here is that inside of the oval. So let me grab that. I like it because it's got a nice curve right there. Plus I can line it up in the center if I want to. Let me go ahead and I'm going to put this pin away. I don't want them loose. They're getting in trouble.
You don't want to get in trouble.
So right here on the design, I'm going to put the needle right in at the tip of one of these little points right here, one of these tips, and we're going to put a little scallop all the way around. And that little spacing gauge is very helpful to being really accurate when we do that. So I got my needle right in the line, and I'll pick up that bobbin thread, and I'm going to seat that needle right at the very tip. And because I'm going to sew all the way around, I'll tie it off at the end. Rather than tie it off twice, we'll just do it at the end. So this little guy right here, I'm just going to line him up like this. But I don't know how much space I need to get the needle right to that next point. So that little tool of mine with this 1/4 inch, wherever I want the needle to be, the ruler has to be a 1/4 inch away. So you know that the foot is taking up a little space with the needle in the middle. Well, the ruler then has to be the same distance apart from that. So if I line this up, I can use that as the spacer right there. Now I should be able to stitch right in and touch the other side of that. So that's exactly that correct distance to be right at the top of that next one. And I can line that up each time, and that's going to help me have a really pretty little scallop right there and be very accurate. So I had to watch my finger right here. Did you see I got bit by that? So always with any kind of needle bar, if it juts out, you can widen your hand a little bit so that it has more room, and then you kind of protect yourself from that right there. So I'll just kind of hold it a little bit on the back like that, so I won't get my finger in the way. But this is the cute little scallop that we're getting. Isn't that cool? So we'll just keep going around. We'll finish just this part of it. So that little spacing gauge, he's not very big, but he's pretty important. He really has a good job. Think about this. If you were making a triangle and you were trying to come back to the end, like if you were stitching in a triangle, well, do you want your triangle to close? I do. I want it to be right at the top of the triangle. So having something that can really enhance your accuracy like that gets to be really important, so you can do the work that you want and have it be really precise like that. What a good question. So let's finish this up, and then I'll kind of talk about it right here. If I have this machine right now and I put the gas all the way to the highest speed, because we're kind of on this setup, the table vibrates a lot. So I'm actually have slowed the machine down so we don't get that vibration just for this setting. But what happens is, if your stitches are big, like far apart, what it means is your machine is not matching your speed. And what that means is that you need it to go faster, to take more stitches, but you don't want to change. How long have you been sewing? 40 years, right, exactly. So does your body know how fast you want to go? Yeah. Yes, it does. Yeah. And after 40 years, are you going to change it? No. How about you? How long have you been sewing? Similar. How about you, dear? So even if you... Yeah, but the reality is, if you've pieced, what your machine should sound like, it should sound like you're piecing. That's the rhythm, that's the sound that you want to have. And then when you look at the stitches, if they're big, tap the machine to go a little faster. And if they're really tight together, make it go a little slower. The key is, once you make the machine match you, you can't change you. Don't try to catch up with it or change your body. Let the machine adjust to you, not the other way around. Yeah, but let's put this last little arc in, and then we're going to play a little game, and we'll help explain this a little better. Okay, So I'll cut this because this is so cute and pretty. We don't want to mess it up, but we'll just cut it. And we'll put the other fabric on here. I got a little scrap. If I'm going to sew and I want to regulate my stitches really nice, okay, if I'm sewing and the machine sounds erratic, loud, like that makes me really anxious. I can't deal with that. If the machine sounds like it's piecing, I can control that. That sounds normal. I can think about what's happening. I don't feel like I'm rushed. My stitches look good. And I'm gonna tie this back in with the ruler work. So what happens with ruler work is you're separating the action of free motion, right? If I'm free motioning, I'm like, okay, oh, I gotta turn, oh, I gotta catch up, oh, a curve there, oh, wait, don't touch, right? And I gotta think about my stitch length. If I put this ruler on, we'll just put this one on. I love this pretty curve. If I put this on, I don't have to think about where I'm going. I've already decided. The designing is finished. All I have to do now is just concentrate on the rhythm, nice, even sound, and just keep the foot touching down to the end. So right now, I have already decided where I'm going. I don't have to worry about that. And what I find with the ruler work aspect is people concentrate so hard on the ruler that they just revert to their automatic movement. And 99% of my students are like, oh, my stitches look really good. Because you can't concentrate on everything. Your brain's going to concentrate on what's new, and it's going to let you work at that automated sewing process that you've already done for 40 years. So I do feel like it does help people train their stitch length, and it improves that. But the machine can also be adjusted to match what you need to do. So, and for this process, you know, being able to keep the ruler next to the foot, that's probably the single thing to do. So let's go ahead. We'll make one more curve. We'll make something on that other fabric. And I'm going to show you something that will help you as far as if you want to try this process, how you can be maybe a little bit more successful. And that'll be related to our fun giveaway. All right. So we've got this. We've made our little star. And let's just go ahead and we'll just put some kind of curvy thing in here because we can. All right. Let me get them lined up right here. So right now, I'm going to try to just come from here and I'm going to go to this little corner right there and just make something curvy. When I'm holding the ruler, I need to activate those stable tape grips. If you like to, anybody here use gloves for free motion? No? So I don't because I have some nerve damage in my hand, but some people really like them. They like that they give you a little bit more tack. Well, basically, your stable tape is gripping your fabric. So if I'm holding the ruler and the stable tape is against the fabric, it's moving the fabric. So it's not just that it prevents the ruler from slipping, it actually is moving the whole sandwich. So if you actually have your machine set up and you use this, it's going to make it a lot easier to go ahead and move so that everybody moves together. So we'll go ahead and set it up. I'm right on the line right there, and I can sew right down into this 1/4 inch. It's like my bobbin thread's almost empty. Well, it was fine before. Oh, darn it. Let's see if I can turn it off. Bobbin adjustment. Did you know this machine can turn your sensor off or on? So let's see, bobbin sensor off. Okay, so now hopefully it won't beep at me. I think we can get down to this area right here. So right now, as I'm holding it, I'm actually activating those grips. I'm not just sewing, I'm making sure that the pressure on those grip tapes is happening. So on this ruler can be used in 2 directions. It can use this way or this way. So that's why these have grips on both sides. But for example, on a circle or our oval, I only have them on one side, and I have them where I can read the words. This is the front, and then the grips are on the back. And that's how you know that this is our original, actual Sew Steady product. All of ours are laser cut, and all of the lines are laser etched in there and then colored. And because they're recessed, they're not going to wear off because those lines are inside the plastic. They're protected. So they're going to last a good long time. And with these little grippers that we have, these will not damage them. So if I lay these together, they're sort of cushioned from scratching each other. So there's also some protective feature there with that stable tape, which I really like. So let's see. Did you put your name in my giveaway? Did you put your name in my giveaway? So right here, if you could take one of these little papers and put your name in there, we're going to do some giveaways. Here you go. So we're going to have a giveaway if you want to put your name in. Oh, good for you. Giveaway, put your name on my paper. It's that I wrote. Yeah. If you want to be in our giveaway, come and get one of these little papers. What do you need? Just put your name on it because we're going to draw right now. Okay. Now use your pen? You may. I was not offering the pen in case you want to use your own COVID-free pen. Anybody want to be in our giveaway? You just have to write your name. We're not like forcing anything on you. You got two friends behind you. So what we're giving away is some of the accessories for Sew Steady Ruler Work products. You bet, you bet. So since she's being so helpful, I'm going to just say what we're showing today is the fun and fancy path to ruler work design. There's over 100 different designs in here that can be created with the fun and fancy template set. So it's a two-part thing. You buy a template set and you get the book. If you buy them together, there is free online video that gets you started. That's about 3 hours and includes a small free motion embellishment portion as well that you can do with the rulers in combination. And then there's also about a 13-hour class that you can also purchase, and there's a half-off discount for that class. It's regularly $150, and with the discount, it's $75. So that's something, that's our holiday special. You can actually purchase all of that together for $150, and you get our free Westalee template bag with the clear cover. You're going to get the red Space Engage and the red Notions necklace. And those are some of the items that we're going to be giving away. So the items that we're giving away, this is the Space Engage and the Notions necklace. And the way these we use, they go together. So this is mine. I've got it on the Notions necklace. And you're going to clip it on. You just press the button and it'll go on. And I hang this over the leg of my Sew Steady table. And then if I need to use it away from my body, I just disconnect it. What it does is, before ours was clear, like I think I have it right here, clear, like this, colorless, right? So if you set it down, you might never see it again. So we've got these awesome little colored tags on there. This way I can find it. So that's one of our giveaways. Those are going to go together. One item. The other item that we're giving away is the glider. So we've talked about the glider just a little bit. This is the Sew Steady Grid Glider. It's one of the largest in the industry. It's 12 by 20. So I'll just take this off so you can see it real quick. What this does, the importance in the ruler work world. Imagine that this is the neck of my sewing machine, even if it's a little wider. If this is the fabric and I sew 2 inches, the fabric is already falling off. For ruler work, you've got to have a large flat extension surface that you can work with. If you're just using the narrow neck of your machine and you sew 2 inches, the ruler's not supported and the fabric already cannot be aligned on the ruler anymore. So the smallest I recommend is our 18 by 24, which is our large table. I bought the junior, which is about 11 by 15, so I could sew at my mom's, and it did not work, and I was really mad. So get the big one. You won't be disappointed. It's awesome. The glider's function is covering up that little seam between the table and the machine. If you have a little throat plate that maybe has a little bevel on it, it's covering that up. It's allowing the ruler then to rest very smoothly and very flush so that as the fabric's moving, you can have a very smooth surface. The other thing is I've polished my glider and my table with my So Steady polish. You've got to have it. So my story on that is I'm at a show like this, and my boss's, I think, aunt was demoing, and she was talking to me, and my name's Kate, and her name's Kay, and so we're playing the K game, and she's like, oh, do you polish your table? I'm like, oh, I've had this table for years. I've had it for 17 years. I've never polished it. It works fine. She's like, oh, honey, come here. She takes me over to her station, and she puts a fabric on it, and she blows on it, and it just whooshes off like a ski slope, right? With ruler work, if I have that slippery surface, that means that the ruler and the fabric can move more easily together. That's number one, very important. Number two, then I don't have to push it and work as hard. I don't have to get tired. I'm not going to fatigue out. So I'm going to be more effective for a longer period of time. And I'll probably do a better job because I'm not fighting with my fabric, right? So that is a really important function that this has. The green glider is very easy to care for. You're just going to rinse it off on the back when it gets linty. This one is open. The opening is quite large. I think you can see it maybe on the screen, that it's got a big cutout. I can use it for sewing half square triangles because it's got the 45-degree miter right on there, so I can line it up and I can sew right down my center line. It's got a 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch for your 2 1/4 binding. It's got a 5/8 inch seam for dressmaking. You can line it right up with the needle. I can use it feed dogs down or feed dogs up. Hugely versatile. When first came out, people were like, oh, I don't know if that's great. It's one of our best-selling products, and I love it. And the polish kit, I recommend with it because you'll want to polish it about every 4 to 6 weeks, depending on use, to keep it in tip-top condition. The polish can also be used on any shiny acrylic bed surface or embroidery unit like this. You can polish that. It is safe. It will not harm it, etch it, scratch it. It'll keep it in tip-top condition. Okay, so we have a good crew. Anybody not have their name in for our drawing? Okay, so we're passing out these little. Uh-oh, did I lose them? Here we go. If you did not put your name in, just come put your name on it. And then I'll stop talking and we'll draw. All right. Woo. Here we go. If you haven't put your name in, you can just take this. We're just going to go ahead and draw right now. We have 3 little prizes that are related to our discussion today. Anybody else? Sir, do you want to participate? No, come on. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll do that necklace and the spacing gauge first. That is a ruler work product. It is designed to allow you to align your needle when you're using templates for quilting, which would mean you need a ruler foot, you need a ruler, you're going to sew, and that tool will be used to align the ruler. The ruler foot is a 1/2 inch circle with the needle in the center. So anytime I position the ruler, wherever I want the needle to go, that ruler needs to be a 1/4 inch away from that for the needle to hit that spot. And that's what that tool is for. So it looks like this. We're going to be giving away the clear one with a purple Notions necklace. Woohoo! Whose favorite color is purple? Okay. All right. So I don't know. Can I be trusted? Here you go. No? Okay, I'll just pick. I don't know any of you, so it's okay. Anita, you are our winner. Woo! All right, madam, here you are. No waiting. Thank you. You're very welcome. Okay, let's see. What did we say next? So we talked about the grip tape, right? This is going to go on the back of your template right here. If this activate, that means I can look at it and I can read the words. The grips will go on the back. Their function is to prevent the ruler from moving against the fabric. And just like a glove, they're going to kind of grip the fabric so that all of this will move together. So when you're using it, my key tip is when you buy your first template and you're playing with it, don't put the rulers on, grips on right away. Where am I going to hold it? First. Then I put the grips under my fingers, right? A lot of people are like, oh, that doesn't work. Okay, put your fingers on them. Okay, that's what makes them work. You got to activate them. They don't activate themselves. Okay. All right, he's giving me my time. I better hurry up. Talk faster. Okay, so we're going to give that up. So, you can use that for other things. You can use it on the bottom of your foot pedal if your foot pedal's slipping around, but mostly it's for rulers. Can you use it on a cutting ruler? You could, but it's going to elevate that ruler a little bit. Okay, our winner is, I'm going to try to say it, Dana Bro. Did I say it right? Dana Bro. Thank you, ma'am. Here you go. Ready? No. You got to come on down. Get your prize. Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you for playing. Okay, now our grand prize. Our grand prize is this awesome glider. And I don't know if I dropped it. Where is it? So when you get it, it comes in a tube like this. It has a plastic backing. Don't just stick it on there and be like, it's not sticking. Take the backing off. My tip for it is this cutout right here is very useful, but it is a little weaker around that square. So don't just rip it off of there. When you need to take it on and off, you're going to lift your foot up and you're going to leave the foot on. Never have the needle exposed. Okay? You can just roll this gently under the foot like that, nice and easy. It's going to come right off. We don't just rip it because this area right here can be a little delicate. And so you want to treat it carefully. You can roll it right back up. You're going to put the paper back on it, the protective, and then you can keep it in the tube when you're not using it. As I said, this is just rinse with cold water. You will periodically want to polish the top in order to have the top be very slick and smooth. Okay, so that's my tip for that. So I'm going to just shuffle these around and no, can't be her. I put her name back in there. She's too lucky. I'm sorry. I can't do it. That wouldn't be fair. Erin Peters. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing this time. We really appreciate you. We hope you have an amazing time at Houston. Shop till you drop, make friends, eat good food, play, enjoy yourselves, and have a great time. So Steady is right over there. I have the Fun and Fancy set as well as many other options to suit whatever kind of quilting you might do. And we're doing free demos the entire week.
I just realized I'm muted. Thank you so much, Carol, for letting me know. So I hope that this demo was really good or really useful for you. Please let me know in the chat if you can hear me now. Let's see if we're good to go. I believe I am no longer muted. So let's find out. Let's see here. Okay, Trish is telling me yes, so we're good to go. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you guys for keeping me on my toes all night. Appreciate it. So we have some really fantastic giveaways that will be happening in person for the rest of the festival. So if you are planning on going in person at another date, keep just keep an ear to the ground for that. We will be letting you know what is going on. And guys, please let us know in the chat where you are watching from. I'm always curious to see where all of you are watching from. And I love seeing where you guys, or what you guys have been up to. Just let me know so we can chat for a little bit. I mentioned this while I was muted, but since you couldn't hear me, I'll say it again. We are getting Jerry Granata set up right now for his XJ1 demonstration. So stay tuned for that. That is going to be happening very, very soon. Let's see who else we have watching for the show today. Let's see. We've got Suzette over in Delaware. We've got Nilda down in Colorado Springs. Karen in Ohio. We've got the Kirksifs over in King County, Washington. Oh my goodness, from Denmark. Hi, thank you so much for watching. Oh, this is really exciting. We've got Aaron over in Ohio. We've got Larry over in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Trisha in Aurora, Illinois. Carol, obviously in Arizona. So good to see you, Carol. Let's see. Trisha, yes, I love Jerry too. Jerry is fantastic. If you missed it, last Thursday we did a full hour-long AllBrands show with Jerry on the XJ1. It is in depth. It is full of information and really cool tutorials. So please check that out after the show if you haven't yet and you're looking for a little bit more information about that XJ1. It is truly a fantastic machine. So Sherry over in Minnesota, so good to see you. We got Deb over in Tennessee, also really good to see you. Suzette is wondering, is there a discount code for shoppers from home? Oh, excuse me, gotta clear my throat here. So Suzette, I will check up on that for you and I will drop that in the chat if we do have a discount code. I believe we are running specials this entire weekend for the festival. The specials have already started. So there are some packages that you can check out both at the festival. There's some stuff you can get online as well. So take a look at that. We've got Sandra over in Brazil. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for watching. Oh, this is so exciting, you guys. So if you are just tuning in, thank you so much for watching the AllBrands live coverage of preview night at the Houston Quilt Festival. This is all our booth. We are going to be broadcasting every single day of the festival, the entire day. So we're going to be going from 10:30 a.m. to about 7 p.m. tomorrow. So definitely keep an eye out for us. Something else that I did want to bring up is that we will be having two different videos for the festival, because the way Facebook breaks up live videos, we have to break it up. Otherwise, they're going to cut us off. So definitely take a chance or take a look. And there might be a chance that you can win some cool things. Check out some cool promotions that we've got going on. And Josie, you're right. AllBrands is world renowned. I'm so excited about that. That makes me so happy. We've got Christy Gray saying, I should have been there tonight. I had a crazy thing happen today. We'll be there tomorrow. From what I've heard, the traffic is pretty crazy because the World Series is going on right now too. So there is an added level of chaos for sure. But yeah, it is very exciting to be there in person, but I understand that so many of us couldn't. So that's all right. We will see you here and we'll be covering everything. So even though you can't visit us in person, we'll be trying to give you as close of an in-person experience as we can get here online. So let's take a look really quickly at our schedule for the rest of the evening. So we do have, we already have gone through Reen Wilcoxson, our embroidery garden pre-recorded demo. We have also gone through Heather Banks' online demo of the SE 1900. She is going to be showing a bunch of brother models that you can purchase online for the rest of the festival. So please take a look at those. You can purchase these online, so you do not have to be at the festival to buy these. Take a look at those. We've got some awesome deals and some awesome prices on those machines. You just saw Kate Quinn with So Steady. So Steady educator Kate Quinn did some ruler work and some cool giveaways. And now we are on the Stellaire with Jerry. So I am really excited about this demo with Jerry. And let's see if we can pull up the schedule for tomorrow as well, so you guys can see what's going on tomorrow. So tomorrow we have a full day, a full day, starting off with Laura Starr. We're going in with So Steady again. We've got some quilt club stuff with another a new brother ambassador, Wendy Cho. Very excited about that one for you guys. We've got some more ScanNCut stuff. The awesome Cindy Hogan is going to be joining us tomorrow. Colleen Sweatman is going to be joining us tomorrow. We've also got a presentation from the Sewing Machine Project tomorrow. We have been giving away and donating machines to them to help out with some philanthropic efforts that they are facilitating around the world, and we couldn't be more excited to be donating more. And we've also got Becky Thompson tomorrow from Power Tools with Thread. And we've got Reen and Heather closing out the show, and Colleen Sweatman will be joining us again in the evening for 2 different demonstrations. Now, let's see if we can bring Jerry on. Let's see if they're ready.
I just peeled one off the back.
How are we doing over there, everybody?
It's awfully.
Oh, all right. I don't think they're ready just yet. So that's all right. We are going to hop in, and I do want to show you guys the rest of the schedule for this evening because I just realized I didn't. So for the rest of our evening, we've got Jerry with the Stellaire. We also have Rosemary. She's going to be doing some ScanNCut demonstrations for us very shortly after Jerry. So stay tuned for that. So we've also got that going on. I've also got Barb Mikolajczyk, who's going to be showing off the XP2 to close out our evening. Now, unfortunately, if you guys missed this announcement earlier, unfortunately, the show does close at 9, so we will not be able to have Colleen here with us tonight, but she will be with us tomorrow. And I'm very, very excited about that one. She is going to be doing a series throughout the week, so you're not going to want to miss those. But if you do miss those, that is a-okay, because we will be hosting all of these videos of the Quilt Festival on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, and those will be streaming up there forever and ever, amen. So just like the AllBrands show, if you've watched that before, that will all be on our social media. So take a look at those, keep an eye out for those. They should be available for replay as soon as we go off the air. So we will have the entire day, the entire evening for you on our pages after that. So you guys, thank you so much for sticking with us for the festival. And yes, Carol, it is an awesome lineup. I am really, really happy with this. We've put in a lot of work to give you guys a fantastic quilt festival from the AllBrands booth. So I am very happy about our lineup. And Josie, yes, Josie says, I'm so glad that the Stellaire gets some representation and couldn't have a better person to represent Jerry. Yes. Oh my gosh. You guys, again, I don't know if you were, if you heard this earlier, but we did do an AllBrands show last Thursday with Jerry. So keep an eye out or go back and watch that if you like. It is a really in-depth, a little over an hour-long video. So there are tutorials, there's information about the features of the machine. And yes, the Stellaire should be getting some love. It is a really fantastic machine. It is a workhorse for what it does. And you guys, we are running a bundle at the Quilt Festival right now on the XJ1. If you are curious about that, you can go ahead and check out our page online for that XJ1. And we have a fantastic demo with, I think, 8 bonuses in there. Let me double check that for you guys, but I'm almost positive it is about 8 products. We have a secret bundle you can purchase as well, but we have the XE1 and we have the XJ1 over there with us in Houston. You can also get with that XJ1 a rolling bag set, 400 designs, an iPod Touch to help you out. But with all that said, I've said too much. Let me go ahead and bring Jerry on. All right, let's do it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Houston Quilt Festival show. I am so excited to be here. My name is Jerry Granata. I am a brother educator, and this is so nice to be out at a quilt show again, to be live, to be around people again. This is just absolutely amazing. The machine that I would like to show today is the Stellaire XJ1. This is a combination sewing and embroidery machine. There is also, what Brother has brilliantly done, has made an embroidery-only machine that is also available in the same line, and it's called the XE1. So the XJ1 is a combination sewing and embroidery. XE1 is embroidery only. So if you have a sewing machine that you absolutely love, and hopefully that's a brother, the XE1 may be just the perfect the perfect sword for your for your sewing room. So let's get started. So the thing that separates this from other machines is the fact that you can take pictures or coloring book pages or refrigerator art, anything like that, and you can even fabric. You can take a picture of it in the hoop, and you can convert that into embroidery. So hi, folks. So you can convert that into embroidery. So let's see how we do that. So on our screen here, we have an app that works in conjunction with the hoops. The hoops have a registration mark on them. And I'm going to show that now. The hoops have a registration mark, and the app will read the registration marks. And how that works is we are going to place something in our hoop. In my case, I'm just using just a simple flower design on 8.5 by 11 inch paper. Just printed it out on my printer. Very simple, very easy. And I'm going to use the app, and I'm going to take a picture of what is in my hoop. And I'm going to snap a capture with the frame for pattern editing. So I'm going to pull that up. And what's going to happen is I will take a picture of this, and then I will send it to the machine, and it will wirelessly transfer over to my machine. So let's go find where that is. If you notice, I have files already available for my use. And I'm going to look, and I'm going to check all of my files, and I'm going to see where that's located. Have a couple different things here. Just going through all my files, looking for that particular design. Not a problem. Hello. You can see I have things already saved. As you notice, I can delete them as well. So there I found my flower. So all I'm going to do is set this. And there it is. Now you'll notice that the background image is still there. That's because I brought it in. I can also get rid of that as well. So let's go back. Let's go to my design center again. Look for our picture. It is a line design, so I'm going to pull up line. And it was wireless. So let's go look for that picture again. Just take a second. So I took a picture of what was in the hoop. It's correct. So we're just going to go look for that design. That is here. Just go through your files. Usually, there it is. There's my flower. So I'm going to set that. And you'll notice, like a picture, I can crop this. So I'm going to get my red lines as close to my design as I can. Just pull in my red lines here. That looks good. So I'm going to say OK. And now there's my design in my machine. I'm going to set this. And now I can start the fun. Now you'll notice my background is still there. I can toggle that off down here if I want to. And I'm going to work with the line design. Now the Stellaire will automatically default to a satin stitch. I want to try something just a little bit different. So I'm going to go into my menu of where my line properties are. And you'll notice I have some choices here. Let's choose candle wicking. And let's change that to a red color. And say OK. I'm going to touch my paint bucket because I want to fill that line. And there we have it. So I'm going to touch next and preview and watch what happens on my screen. There's my candle wicking. So I automatically see what's going to stitch out before I stitch it out. Isn't that amazing? So now I can save fabric. I don't have to waste thread anymore. Testing it out. I can see automatically what's going on. Now that looks good. I can do better. I want something a little bit better. So let's go back into my design center and let's start playing with the fill patterns. I want to fill in the petals. I want to fill in the leaves. I want to fill in the stem and the background. So let's see where those are located. So I have some satin stitching. I have some stippling, And I also have an icon here, but watch what happens when I touch select. I don't have one fill pattern to choose from. I have 15 different fill patterns that I can choose from. So I'm going to select the first one because I like it, and that's the one that I used in my sample. So I'm going to touch OK. And I'll keep that, let's change that to blue. And you would, at this point, you'd probably match your thread color. So whatever thread color you're going to use, that's the color you would choose. Because you want to see a preview. You want to see an accurate representation of what it is you want to stitch out. So let's say OK. Now I'm going to come down here because this is where my fill patterns are. And watch this. I can touch all of these leaf patterns, and I can fill these in as much or as little as I want to. Isn't that amazing? So let's go to next. Let's see what this looks like. Let's preview this. So there's our candle wicking again, and you see the stitches in the pattern, in the leaves, in the petals. A little too big. I want them a little smaller. So how do I do that? I'm going to go back. This little button right here. This is where I can choose the size of the pattern that I want. And if I go up to select, I can select whichever petal. So let's just choose this first one. And I'm going to change this. Oh, let's go all the way down because I want to do this dramatically so you can really see the difference. But you're free to choose. You're free to choose as whatever you want. You can also make it larger if you so choose as well. But now, do you see that petal? Do you see how that has now condensed down? And I like the pattern a little bit better. I think it fills it in nicely. So I would continue. I would keep going until I am happy with what I see on my screen. And then I can set it. Now it's warning me that this is going to go over to embroidery, which is what I want. Now I'm in the embroidery side and I can stitch this out. And once I'm done, sorry about my head being in the way of the camera here. Once I'm done, I have a design that looks just like this. Isn't that amazing? So remember, it all started with this, just a very simple outline. And I now have a quick, fast, and easy gift that I can make for someone. I also match the bobbin thread. So on the back, it's just a mirror image. And the coloring is both the same as well. Pretty remarkable, I think. So another thing, sorry about my head here, Mr. Robert. Okay. So this is a sample. It's probably easier if I just hold it up and let Robert do the camera. Do you see the sample? Okay, so these are all built-in embroidery patterns in the Stellaire. Now the bordering, do you remember that same fill pattern I used for the flower? I used it on this as well. Notice there's different fill patterns around each of the embroidery designs. There's also quilting in the sashing. This was all done with the Stellaire and done virtually the same way. So let me show you how I did this. So those designs are all built in. So where are they? Let's get out of my design center and start fresh. We're going to start with embroidery. Now, if you look at category 6, there's some red work designs, but again, you're free to stitch these out in whichever color you want. I'm going to choose the Christmas tree because that's one of the designs that I had. Isn't that cute? That is the cutest little pattern. So I'm going to set it. I'm going to get rid of my background image because I don't need that anymore. So I'm just going to toggle that off. There's my design. Now, the first thing that I need to do is I do not want any stitching around my embroidery, right? And I'm going to show very quickly the back of this. So this is the design from the front, and this is the design on the back. Notice that there is a space. So there is stitching that did not cover my embroidery because I didn't want that, right? I wanted it to, well, so how did I do that? So let me show you. So I've got my embroidery pulled up. What I need to do is create an outline. I need to create a barrier around my embroidery design so that there is no stitching that goes over it. So I'm going to go into Edit, and I'm going to touch this little flower icon right here, and watch what happens. Do you see the outline that's created? Now, I can change how far away that outline is from my embroidery design, and I want to do that because you notice down by the legs here, there's all those openings, and I want to close those. So all I'm going to do is touch, just keep touching plus, and do you notice here how it's closing all of those gaps? And I'm going to keep going just so I can get a pattern. See how all of those gaps are closing right down here? There we go. Perfect. Now you see I have one solid design. Isn't that cool how you can do that just by touching the plus? So now I need to put this into memory. And it's telling me that I'm going to have to recall this from my design center. Remember, we were just there with the flower. So I need to recall this from the stamp pattern list. So let's go find out where that is. So I'm done in embroidery. I'm going to go into my design center. Do you remember that circle with the square icon? There it is. Remember the little flower icon that we just used? I'm going to touch that. And there is my outline. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to select it and then touch OK. And do you see what we have here? I'll pull this up just a little bit so you can see it. There's my outline. Okay, so now the issue is I have my outline. How do I know where to put it so that it surrounds my embroidery? So I have a sample here. This is just a quick little sample block that I made. I'm going to place it in my hoop. And as I did before, I'm going to use the app that is on my phone, the My Design Snap, to take a picture of what is in my hoop. Because right now, I just need this as a background image. So I've done that already, just for the sake of time. And we need to go find where that is. So we just need an image. And I brought it in wirelessly. So let me go find where that is. Just take a second to go through all my files, and there it is. So remember, I've just taken a picture of this. Now, this would have been my quilt that I've loaded in my hoop, but again, for the sake of time and the sample, I just made a sample of it. So again, I'm just going to crop it, and I'm just worried about this inner square. That's all I'm concerned about. And I'm okay. So now it's going to convert that over. Okay. Yep. So now we're just going to let that digitize. Now I can take this and convert this into an embroidery pattern. I don't have to hoop pictures. I can hoop fabric as well and turn that into embroidery. So for those who are quilters, take this a step farther. Imagine that you had a quilt that you could take a picture of your fabric and make an entire hoop full of embroidery and use that as your squares and your triangles. What kind of quilt, how beautiful would that be to have little embroidered patches in your quilt? I think that would be absolutely amazing. So that's how I would do that. Now, in this case, I need to go in and I need to look for the image because I'm just looking for, I just want this as a background. I think it was 94. There it is. I'm going to set it because I just need this as a background. Now, what I want to do is get rid of the background because I want you to see my design is still there, right? Remember the outline that I created? I just need this background bright enough so that I can see this. Now, see, I can move my design around. I want to put this right over my embroidery because this is going to act as a barrier. And I can go into resizing. I can make this a little bit smaller and move it around. I'm going to grab a square. I'm going to grab a square. I'm going to resize that. Here's where the magic happens. I'm going to place that square so it is right in the middle. So now I've created a barrier between my square and my design. I'm going to go pick a fill pattern. I'm going to pick a fill pattern, and I'll just keep the one that's there. Now this should blow your mind. Watch this. I have now made my fill pattern, but notice that it is not going to be stitching around the embroidery. Pretty amazing. So once I'm happy with what it looks like, I can go into embroidery. There's a preview of it. Isn't that nice? Again, I can change the size if I'm not happy with that. Once I'm happy with it, I'm going to go right over to I'm going to go right over to embroidery and stitch that out. It really took me longer to explain than it does to do it. It really only takes a few minutes to do this. It's amazing. So once again, I want to thank you all very much for listening to my presentation. My name is Jerry Granata. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to talk to you in just a bit about the Stellaire and all of the wonderful capabilities and possibilities that I can have for you in your sewing and quilting world. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, you guys. So that was Jerry Granata demoing the XJ1. And y'all, I love that machine. I really do. It's my favorite. And yes, everyone's thanking Jerry. Yes, thank you so much to Jerry. Thank you especially for coming on the AllBrands show, coming for the Quilt Festival, and demoing this fantastic machine. It's really incredible. It really is a fantastic machine, you guys. So like I said earlier, I got a little ahead of myself, but I did want to let you know that we are running some specials. We are doing a bundle over at the Quilt Festival for the XJ1, which comes with 8 things for free, including a rolling bag set, 400 extra embroidery designs, an iPod Touch, and a color thread kit. So take a look at that on our website. And if you are interested in any pricing and you're not physically there right now, please call our 1-800 number. You can call 1-800-739-7374 for pricing. Or if you're at the festival, or if you plan to be at the festival, definitely take a look and check it out at our booth, because we will be there the entire weekend and we will be demoing that. So y'all, this was, that was Jerry Granata's demo. If you just missed it, here is a look at the rest of our schedule this evening. We've got the ScanNCut with Rosemary, Castillo, Sartin coming later. And we've also got the Luminaire XP2 with the awesome Barb Mikolajczyk. Now, if you missed the announcement earlier, unfortunately, the show floor will be closing at 9, so we will miss Colleen's presentation today at 9 p.m., but never fear, no worries. Colleen is going to be here for the rest of the festival, so you can catch her at multiple times, both Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can see she is going to be there at 1:30 p.m. on all of those days, and she's also going to be around at 5:30 p.m. on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then she's going to be there on Sunday. She will be there on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. So if you guys were curious about that, that is when you can catch Colleen. Unfortunately, it just won't be this evening, but that's all right. And yes, Jordan has just linked down below the catalog for all of our specials. Unfortunately, it has no pricing, but it has everything that's going to be included with all of the bundles that we are running. So I'm very, very excited about those, you guys. So let's see what else we've got going on. I want to see who else is in the chat. And yes, everyone is thanking Jerry. Jerry is truly awesome. We love Jerry here. We definitely do. Let's see. Oh, Josie's telling me that the video is blurry. I'm really sorry, Josie. We've been having some trouble with our internet connection today, but hopefully you can hear me just fine. Please give me a thumbs up in the chat, or let me know if you can hear me clearly. Now, Cindy is wondering, do you have the 9.5 by 9.5 hoop on sale for the Stellaire? We do carry it. We do carry it. I'm not quite sure if we are running a sale on that. We do have it. So if you're curious about that. And yes, everyone is telling me the sound is clear. So good to go on that. Thank you all so much for sticking with us. We've been streaming for 2 hours now, and it's really great to see all of you that have stuck around for the show. I did want to point out, while we are in between demonstrations, so you guys, we are broadcasting this on our Facebook and on our YouTube and on our website. So if you are curious about anything that we're going to be doing for the rest of the weekend, please check out allbrands.com/quiltfest. And that is going to show you our schedule. And that's also going to show you some of the other things that we've got going on for the festival this weekend. So also, before we get started on our next demo, we have a mask decorating contest that we're running. Really simple. All you need to do is, if you would like to enter, you can go ahead and enter on our website at allbrands.com/mask. That should be ticking down there at the bottom of the screen. Go ahead and lost my train of thought. Go ahead and submit a mask, a Halloween or fall themed mask that is using CDC approved materials. So like a really thin or a really tightly woven cotton is ideal for that. Go ahead and submit your Halloween or fall themed mask. You can submit it directly on our website at allbrands.com/mask. That should be down there. You can see it rolling across the screen. You can only enter once, Barbara Jones. I hope that answers your question. Only one entry per person. And then once you have entered, you can go ahead and vote on your favorites. So the person with the most votes at the end of this contest is going to win $1,000 in prizes. And yes, you heard me right. $1,000 in prizes. It's really awesome. So, let me tell you exactly what those prices are. I'm pulling up allbrands.com/mask right now to let you know. So the winner of our mask decorating contest, you guys, this is crazy. The winner of our contest is going to win an SE 1900, one of the machine that that Heather demonstrated on earlier. The SE 1900, that is a 900, almost, that's $1,000 machine right there. We're going to be giving that away to the winner. We are also going to be giving away to the winner a Durkee flat cap frame. So thank you to Durkee for giving us that. They will also win a dime magnetic frame and a So Steady mask template. So ton of prizes. That is over $1,000 in prizes. So very, very exciting. Definitely go ahead and check that out and enter. Doesn't cost anything. All you need to do is submit your picture. You can submit that on our website, or you can submit it by posting it to either your Facebook page or your Instagram page with the hashtag AllBrandsMask. It's very important that the hashtag is on there if you make a post. That is what's going to enter you and what will show up in the gallery of entries, essentially. So let me go ahead and let's see, and we are ready. We're ready for our next demo. So let's go ahead and bring in the booth again. This is Rosemary with the Brothers ScanNCut. Here we go.
Hi, everybody. I am Rosemary Castillo Sartin, and I am the educator at the San Antonio, Texas location. So hello to everyone. Hello to all my students who have done any of the classes with me. I'm super excited. I hope you come by the booth and any of the brother booths looking at the machines, and obviously the ScanNCut, because that's where I will be along with Cindy Hogan all week. So I just want to hit some highlights on what your ScanNCut can do for you. So this is one of the new models, which is the SDX 330D. And what's so awesome about this is, I'm going to go scroll down over here to this right here, My Connection. So if you have a Luminaire and don't have a ScanNCut yet, or you have an older ScanNCut, you can upgrade to this ScanNCut and you can talk to your Luminaire and your ScanNCut. That, my friend, is by far one of the best things that you can do. It's really great. Cindy is going to be demonstrating this all the rest of the show, so I'm excited to watch her do this. But for me today, we're going to just do a few highlights and what the ScanNCut normally does. Obviously, your ScanNCut has tons of patterns. So when you click on this one, this is the Disney model, so it has your Disney, has tons of stuff you can cut. We have stuff like this, which is awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Has its built-in fonts, which is great. It also has, borders, some little logos right there, and it has quilt blocks. How awesome is that? So it goes from easy to super hard. Let's click on one of the hard buttons and see what that looks like. Yeah, who's going to cut all this with your rotary cutter? Not me. I can click on that. I can size it to my finished size. I can say okay, and here are all my pieces that I can cut on my ScanNCut and just put it all together. So it really takes or that puts a lot more fun into cutting fabric than before. So it's great. We are doing the ScanNCut man right now. So have a seat. Come join us. Awesome. Let's see, what else? All right, lots of more appliques and some stencils right there. But one of the best things, because people that come by the booth, they're talking about, oh, well, I don't have a cutter, or maybe I do have a cutter and it's not a ScanNCut. So the biggest difference with that is the fact that it scans. So I've got on my fabric mat, which was a new product last year. Look how super sticky that is. It's not even coming off my thumb. I have to really yank it off for it to come off. So I've got some cute little doggy fabric right here, and we can just fussy cut. So let's cut this little French bulldog right here. He looks awesome. My niece has a French bulldog. His name is Cornelius. I'm going to load my mat just like this. Beautiful. It's super awesome. All right, scan. We can direct cut, which is what we're going to do because we're going to cut this little guy out, or we can scan to get data, and we'll do that a little while too. So that's really awesome. So that means we can scan in our artwork, and we can create a design, or just scan the design in. That way we can cut from anything. We can make it any size, which is great. But we're going to direct cut on our machine, and we're just going to hit start. It's going to scan the pattern in, and then we're going to be able to marquee select whichever one we want. Awesome. And look at that beautiful picture that's on there. Here's our little guy right here that we're going to select. So I'm going to marquee select him. And notice that he's kind of tight. There's some flowers around him and everything. So it's right there. Get this one right here. Come down. That's okay. I can get rid of that stuff. I can say okay. It's going to recognize it. And then we can do an ignore object size and just keep going up. Try to get rid of, see, that one went away right there. Oh, that went away. I'll try for one more. All right, let's see what it did. And I'm going to say okay. And I'm going to hit edit to see, oh, perfect. So there was only two little things that I had extra. And because my trash can is grayed out and the select is grayed out, that means I only have that shape right there. So it's perfect, perfect, perfect. I have a choice to make. I can actually press this and actually put a shape around it if I wanted to. I'm just going to leave it the shape of my little dog. I can actually create an offset. So on my mat, I can cut right on him, or I can create just a little bit of a distance, and I'll put that on there right now. And so it just expands the shape right there. I'll say okay, and okay again. And we're ready to cut. I do have the thin fabric blade in here, and it makes a big difference when you're cutting the fabric. So I'm going to put that back in, close that little blade holder thing, press select, and cut. The great thing about the SDX machines is that it has the half cut capability. So that's great for cutting vinyl, because you don't want it to go all the way. But I do have my half cut off. If I had not tested my fabric before, I could actually create a test cut and put that on there. I already have a little cut, and I've been cutting the little dogs already. So I'm going to be okay. We're going to live by the seat of our pants right here, living on the edge, and start. Y'all didn't think you were going to get a song today, did you? I take requests. It's super quiet. You really can't hear it because it's super quiet. But it does a great job. All right. And it's done. It's also super fast. Because I am on this super sticky mat, I just using my little hook to just kind of pick it up. I can use my spatula to kind of lift him. But he has ears and a tail, and I don't want to break him. because he's so adorable. So adorable. Adorable. Get his little tail. And there you go. How awesome is that? So I have the little offset on there, and so you can see the black of the fabric as well. So how fantastic. It really takes your fussy cutting to the next level on that. So there's our little dog. So that's kind of demo number one. That's kind of our basic, what we've done this whole time with the ScanNCut. But now we have a new product on the market. Where is it? Because I put it away. The 330 SDX comes with the rotary blade right here. So when I open it up, look at that. You can see that little blade and how awesome. So I've cut a few things on here. So I have this low tack mat. Low tack mat, I'm telling you, and a piece of felt. I bought at one of the stores earlier last week, and it was on sale for half price. So this is not high quality fabric right here, folks. This is just craft felt. I'm going to put this in, load my mat. I'm also going to get rid of what I have. And I'm just going to bring in one of the patterns on here. And let's do something. We'll see how, if we have an epic fail or if we do it right. Oh, let's just do one of these guys. And let's just do this guy right here. I'm going to make it smaller because my piece is smaller, which will tempt fate a little bit too. And I'm going to say, okay, I just want one, and I'm just going to press set. And there it is right there. But I don't know if you can see see the mat here. I have this piece of felt right smack dab in the middle, but I don't know. I don't want to count my squares. That's all right. We've got the scanning feature. You press start, and it's going to scan this in. Oh, it tells me that my material is just a little too thick. I'm going to raise my scanner level to 2 and do it one more time. Press start. And there it goes. Perfect. It does have 2 scanning levels. I had it on scanning level 1 because I was doing this regular cotton fabric. The felt is just a little thicker. It's probably about 2 millimeters. And there it is. There is our felt right there. That way I can take my design and move it into there. Notice I'm not getting too close to the edges. I want to have a successful cut. And I want to change my blade from the thin fabric blade to my rotary blade. I want to make sure that's tightened. And there you go. I'm sorry. There's a button called My Connection, and you press that design. You press that button, and it will go there. That's the simplistic version of it. When Cindy's here tomorrow, she'll be able to take us through that. It's a great tutorial. All right, so there's our design right there, right on our felt. I'm going to say, oh, okay. It's going to ask us, oh, awesome. Oh, you're going to be in for a treat. It's going to be fantastic. I am going to cut, and that auto blade or the half cut went away because I have that rotary blade in there. I am just going to, again, live on the edge and press start. I've cut with the rotary blade maybe 5 times today just to test out some different things. I've cut out some felt, obviously like I'm doing here, fleece, lace, organza. It's amazing. It's definitely one of the most have accessories right now. This rotary blade will work on any of the SDX models. So if you have the previous version of it, you can buy the rotary blade kit for that. And the line starts behind me for that accessory. With the 330, it does come in the box ready to go with that. So you don't have to fight me for it. I'm going to bring out my little spatula. I love this spatula. It's a great spatula. And I'm going to gently lift this up. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. How awesome is this little flower? There you go. And that's on felt. Nothing on it. It's ready to go, which is fantastic. All right. My last party trick of the night is going to be more of, I have a USB stick here. All right. No, thank you. So, how many people want to cut this out? I'm pretty sure it's no one wants to cut it out. So, this is a mug rug from the Kimberbell Volume 2. And it's fantastic. Which mug rugs are the gateway drug to embroidery, just to let you know. And so, the great thing about one of the Kimberbell designs is that it comes with SVG files, which is a scalable vector graphic that you can actually cut this out. This does have heat and bond on the back. I did this last year, and it was still in the back in perfect condition. So there you go. You can put your placement line, stitch it on there, have that ready to cut, and it's great. So if you do not have, say your pattern that you buy does not have an SVG, does not have a cut file, an FCM, an SVG on that, you can actually do it just using your PES design, which is on my USB in my little folder. And I'm going to show you two ways. I have this right here, this patriotic butterfly. I've done this before. So on most of your Brother machines, you'll have like this little shield that indicates that it's an applique. I can click on that. Guess what? It says it doesn't have any cutting line data for appliques. Say okay. I have another button. It gives me another choice to do this. I can click on that, and I'm going to leave the size alone because that's the size of my design. I'll say okay. And now I have some other options. I have this like inside, inline, outline cut file. I have a large background cut file, which is really awesome if I just wanted to cut the background of that butterfly. Or I have this file right here. It looks like stitches. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to ungroup it because the whole thing is grouped, and I just want one and set. And that's what it looks like. When I click on that, I'm going to click off it and just start clicking on things and moving things out of the way. I don't need that. I don't need that. Maybe I need that one. I just need one of these, and there are several of them. I already have one of those. Make that go away. I'll make that go away. And there's my star. Oh, I'll make that go away. And there's my star right there. So these are the three files that I want to cut. I'm going to go to edit, and I am going to select, actually I'm going to select, marquee select these right there to make them go away. Boom, don't need it. Guess what? Here are my three cut files for that design. How awesome is that? That's awesome. But this gets better, folks. I'm going to go home and make it all go away. If you can take that same pattern, you can put that in your Brother machine, and you can actually color that applique line to the applique position. So once you've done that, and then save it, you can save it to your USB stick. It's going to land in a B pocket. So here's my B pocket. There's that file right there. And notice how it's changed. It's not a PES anymore. It's changed its designation. But when I click on that, I still have that flower design that we just used. But since I colored that applique line, the applique position line, I can click on the shield. And there you go. there are 3 cut files. I can say, okay, I can bring it in. I'm not going to do anything. Bring it over. I can add the second piece, and you can cut it all at the same time from your different fabrics. And there's my star on that one. And send. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. Good, good. That'll help with your new purchase. Yay. Oh, I understand. I understand. But there you go. That's what that will do. So any of the Brother embroidery machines can recolor your applique pattern to the applique position, bring it into your ScanNCut, and get it cut that way. All right, what's my time like? Who's got a time? Callie, do we know what kind of time we have? What time is it? 8:25. You know what? I'm going to be the one that gets us back on track for the next one. This is all. So I am Rosemary. Always be creative and just have fun with what you do. And fear causes chaos in your creativity. So you can't be afraid of any of it. We had a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time this week. Make sure you come by the booth. If you are in Houston, please come by the booth and say hi to all of us. All right. That's all I have for now. Ciao, 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 ciao. Mwah.
All right, y'all. So that was Rosemary Castillo Sartin doing a fantastic demonstration with the ScanNCut. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was really informative. It seems like it was. Everybody is thanking Rosemary in the chat. So I hope that was informative for you all, and I hope you enjoyed it. So guys, this has been a really fantastic beginning to the Quilt Festival. This is just our preview night, so this is not even scratching the surface of the stuff that we are going to have for the rest of the weekend. But you know, we still have some really fantastic stuff today, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have too. We have one more demo this evening, so I don't want you to miss it. We are going to be checking in with the awesome Barb Mikolajczyk, and she's going to be doing a fantastic demonstration on the Luminaire XP2. Let me know down in the chat if you have a Luminaire XP2. I have an upgraded XP1 at home, and I am obsessed with it. I actually need to pull it out pretty soon because for me, we've got a Renaissance fair coming up here very soon, so I'm going to be working on a costume, hopefully with some applique. We're going to see how that goes. And I've got some fantastic education here to help me out on that journey since I've never done it before. So I'm really excited about that. And you know, guys in the chat, also let us know what you're working on. Is there anything, any projects that you're working on? Any last minute Halloween costumes maybe, since Halloween is Saturday? And Christy's got an XP2. Isn't it amazing? I'm assuming that the heart eyes emoji is an indication of how much you absolutely love that machine, because I love it too. It is fantastic. Oh, it's fantastic. And yes, Rhonda, it should be on your wish list. It is a really remarkable machine. It's just, it can do it all. It can do it all and then some. So if you are just joining us, do not worry. We have one more demonstration to go today. So I'm going to show you the schedule. I'm going to show you the schedule that we've got really quickly. So our last demonstration today is going to be the Luminaire XP2 featuring Barb Mikolajczyk. Unfortunately, Colleen will not be able to do her demonstration today on the multi-needle because the show floor closes at 9. We didn't realize that, so apologies for that, but you can catch Colleen later every other day of the festival. And this is what we've got. Look what we're looking at tomorrow. We have a packed schedule tomorrow. We've got Laura Star, we've got more So Steady, some more brother stuff. We've got the Quilt Club machines, ScanNCut with my connection, the XP2, the Stellaire again, more Laura Star. We've got some crazy stuff going on today. I am very, very excited about what we've got going on for the rest of the weekend, and I hope you are too. Let's see what we've got here. Barbara Jones just said, just finished the collar part of the ballerina costume for our Doberman. Any ideas for canine ballet slippers? Oh my gosh. Please send pictures of that. Post them in So Forum. I want to see that so much. And yes, Trisha, I will try to show and tell that. I don't think I have any good pictures of mine at the moment. I actually need to start selling it. So we're going to start working on that hopefully as soon as possible. Yes, Josie, I have only the XJ1, but I'm not complaining. Counting my blessings too. Absolutely. The XJ1 is a fantastic machine. Oh my goodness. And yes, Cindy's got 3 Halloween quilts she needs to quilt in the hoop on her Luminaire, and that sounds really fun. Sunday, if I can, guys, the quilt behind me, I'm gonna try and change that out with our Halloween quilt, or my Halloween quilt that I just made. I think I mentioned this to you all weeks ago. It's been a while, but I did finish it. I finally finished it. I was able to do some free motion spider webs on some of the blocks. I'm obsessed with this thing. It's so cute. It's so cute. I used some decorative stitches from the XP1 on the back just to piece the back together. And y'all, this was my first quilt, so I was really scared. I was super duper nervous about it. But can I just say that XP1, or the upgraded XP1, really made it an absolute breeze. So yeah, gosh, it was really a breeze. So Snowcap over on YouTube is wondering, can I go back and view Becky Thompson as I'm working the same time she's on? And yes, you can. So Becky will be joining us tomorrow, I believe. Let me check that for you. Yes, Becky will be joining us at 4:30 p.m. Central tomorrow. And after we finish up tomorrow, after our live ends, you will be able to go back and watch that, and you can quilt or sew along, simply applique along with her, and you should be good to go. But yeah, so that will be a thing. And you guys, if you did miss anything today that you want to go back and rewatch, you can go ahead and rewatch as soon as we go off the air. So don't worry about that. You will be able to see everything that we've done today as soon as we go off the air over on our Facebook and our YouTube pages. And yes, Josie, I am so pumped. I was terrified. I thought I was going to like break something. I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I didn't think it was going to be great. But we did it, and it came out great. I am in love with this thing, and I use it all the time. We're actually still working from home for the most part, so I use it on my couch all the time when I'm just sitting there working on my little TV tray on my laptop. Obsessed. Absolutely obsessed with this thing. I'm never gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop telling people about it. Like anytime, a friend came over a couple weeks ago and I was like, hey, I made this Halloween quilt. I just want you to see it, like showing it off. I'm so proud of it. And then next time we can try some quilting in the hoop. I think that's gonna be our next ambitious, lofty goal. We're gonna try it and see what happens. And hopefully you'll see it in the background on Sunday if I can remember to bring it over to the office afterward. Guys, I'm proud of me too. Thanks, Josie. That makes me really happy. And I hope you guys like it. Hopefully you'll be able to see it in the background. And now for our final demo of the evening, we have Barb Mikolajczyk for the XP2. So let's bring her over there. And we're good to go.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barb Mikolajczyk from Brother, and I'm here to do a demo on the XP2, our top-of-the-line machine. And I welcome everybody to come on in and take a seat and watch what we're going to do. So AllBrands has asked me to show you how to make a coaster on the XP2. So that's what I'm going to do. So am I on screen here? All right. So we're going to start by going into embroidery. And I am going to just bring up a letter. So I want you to know that you have all kinds of fonts built in, but I'm going to use one of the large letters, and I'm going to use our new script font. And I'm going to grab a letter. Just the letter W will work for now. Where am I going? And I'm going to make a coaster, but I'm also going to use this as a place card when it comes to my Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm started with a letter W, and the first thing I'm going to do is size it. So I go into edit and size, but the most important thing is I want it to change its stitch count. So I'm going to press this icon right here and say okay, and make it as small as I can, because I'm just going to make a little 4x4 coaster. So now you can see it's totally changed its size, but it's also changed its stitch count. So that's all good. Then I played a little bit around, and I went ahead and added some letters to this. So I completely spelled out the word Wally, if you can see that there. And so I'm going to add those. So right here is add. And I'm going to go into the small fonts And since I'm doing a script, I'm going to go in here and spell out Wally. Now that's a large A. I think I'll leave it there and see how it works. So W-A-L-L-Y and set. So now I have Wally on top of the W, which is not what I want. Obviously, I need to move that. Not a problem. I can just touch and drag. And then I can also size because it's a little bit too big for what I want to do here. So I'm going to size, and the red box is around here, so it will let me size down by a whole size, which is too much. Or I can size down just like that and then move it into place. That's great. So then you're going to hoop your fabric and just a tearaway stabilizer in your hoop. And then you're going to go ahead and put it on your machine. I'm not sure where the camera is right now, but I'll put it on my embroidery machine, and I would simply say stitch, embroider. And it would go ahead and embroider. But before I do that, let's have it stitch all of the colors at one without stopping. So I would press that icon right there. Welcome, sir. And I'll go ahead and stitch that. So then here you'll see the stitch out already done. And I am going to show you this 5x7 magnetic flat frame for the Luminaire and all the other flatbed machines from Brother. And it's wonderful because it's low profile. It'll go right under your foot. And to snap on the magnets, you just slide them across and they snap right on. So let me show you how that works. See how it slides right under your foot without a problem. And you have a magnetic hoop that you can use for your sandwiches. Oh, it's telling me it can't be used because I need to move this whole thing up higher. It's not too big for my hoop, but it is too not centered where I need it to be. So if I move everything up, it'll be okay. So that's your new magnetic flat frame. Now, when I did the sizing, I want to make sure that you see that when you do not press that magic button I showed you, it will change as much as 20% bigger and 20% smaller. However, it won't change your stitch count. You can see here it's only 2 stitches have been changed, and that's all. So you definitely want to make sure that you press the magic button that I showed you, because now see how much has changed with the stitching. This is now 32,000 stitches versus the original was 16,700. So does that really solidify for you how you need to make sure you press that size button? Let me go back and show you that one more time to make sure that you got it right here. Well, now it's not going to let me because I've combined a combination, but it defaults over here. You want to make sure that it goes over there so that you get to change the stitch count for your designs. And you can do that for anything. So after you have stitched out your design for your coaster, or in my case, my place cards, then you're going to take your piece and cut them into 5-inch squares. And you're going to take a top that you just stitched, and you're going to take, here's a stitch, and you're going to take your bottom and you're going to cut a piece of batting. And you're going to cut that 5 inches out of your hoop. And then we're going to stack and layer them. And the layers go as follows. The batting goes down first. And then you go ahead and you put your backing right side up. And then you put your top, what you just stitched, right side down. So you have your back and your top facing each other, right sides together, which would make sense. So you take that and you'll go to the machine and stitch around the 3 layers, leaving a gap where you can turn it right side out. And you use the move it foot for that. So that is right here. This is your walking foot or move it foot for the XP2. And this will keep all of your layers from shifting at all. You don't need a single pin. Just go ahead and plug this into the back and stitch. And turn your pivot on when you do that, because then all you do is go to the corner and pivot and you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a stitch, and I'm going to turn on my pivot. and my automatic tie off and my scissors. So when I am done, all I do is press stop and it will tie, lift my foot, my needle, and cut my threads with just one touch of the button. So you're going to sew around the edge about a 1/4 inch, and you can set your 1/4 inch guidelines here. So if I wanted to do that, I'm going to turn my guidelines on, and I can go ahead and make this a 1/4 inch off of my center needle position. So that is very easy then to go ahead and stitch around that and have my perfect 1/4 inch. The next thing you're going to do is turn it right side out. So this is what I stitched around, and I left an opening. So I'm going to turn this right side out, and you can use any turning tool that you have because they all work. And this is one I've had forever. So you're just going to turn it right side out, poke it, and then press it. And you'll be ready to stitch a top stitch around a 1/4 inch all the way around, which then has a nice look when you're finished. Here's a finished mug rug. So it's completely finished, and that top stitch that you put in there, and I did kind of a disappearing thread, just closes that opening that you had. So that's how easy it is to make a coaster or a place card place for your dinners. So there's a couple others that I did for Thanksgiving with all different threads and colors of fabrics. So a couple other things I wanted to just talk about real briefly, other than the coaster, was how much the Move It Foot will do for you, and how you need to know what an amazing thing this is. So if you've ever sewn with velvet or chiffon on velvet or any minkies, any difficult fabrics, this foot makes it like it's regular cotton fabric. It holds it in place. It does not let it move. And here is proof to that. Here's a little velvet clutch, if you can see that. So this is all velvet, and it was quilted. Can we see that? And it was quilted by using this Move It Foot. And again, nothing shifted or moved on me, which is really amazing. So I started out with just testing on cotton what I thought I might want to use. And I actually started with the advanced quilt software, and I designed the pattern on the advanced quilt software. And then it gives you all of the layouts and what you want to cut. And then I send it to ScanNCut, and it cut absolutely every piece perfectly with the new rotary blade, which I know someone will be showing you over these few days. So that again is another point of how amazing this Move It Foot is. And you can get a 1/4 inch foot, you can get an open toe foot, you can get a stitch in the ditch foot. So all of those tools to help you do things easier. And I even do my piecing with my Move It Foot because my pieces stay exactly together and I don't need to worry about anything shifting on me. And then I had made a few mug rugs in the design center. So these were all created in the design center, and I did some embroidery stitching in the center, and I scanned these words into the machine, and then it actually stitched them for me. And then I added a fill around it, a quilting fill. And the way that I did these piecing is in the design center, I simply drew a line so that I would have a stitch line for a seam to add these pieces to the side. That's how simple that is. So we can look at a little more of that if you want to come by, and I'll show you on the machine. And lastly, I wanted to show you real quick was some stuff that we don't do enough of, and that is use our decorative stitches. So I just took some of our decorative stitches for fun, some of the Halloween ones. And the first thing I did was bring in one stitch, and it comes in at 2.08 inches by 51 inches. And I can make it as big as 4.09 inches by 120. And I can make it as small as 1.23 inches by 34. So you can take the decorative stitches in this machine and do so much with them. And then I just brought in some extra ghosts and duplicated them and put them around and sized them so they would fit in this particular rectangle shape. And I put these in our magnetic sash frame. So again, another magnetic frame that you just slide the magnets to the side and it grabs. And this is a sandwich that's already put together, just 3 layers, top, bottom, and middle. So decorative stitches, let me show you where they are. So when you go into sewing, these are your regular stitches categories. But if you go into decorative, character and decorative stitches, you have new categories, including lettering and Mickey Mouse, Disney stitches. But the one I got this out of was category 8. And I scrolled all the way to the bottom. There are 80 stitches in this one little category. And I used some of these. Let's see where my Halloween ones were. There's my ghost, and there's my pumpkin and witch hat. And I've done some other things, which I'll show in another segment that we're going to do here with the dinosaurs and the cats and the dogs and the hedgehogs. And then I did trains, planes, boats, and all those. So you'll see how much fun you can have with those decorative stitches, making blocks, centers of blocks out of them, or quilting with them, because they're just stitches and it's just a lot of fun. So tons of decorative stitches that we don't use enough, and we need to, you know, rack our brains a little bit to make sure that we figure out ways to use them, because they're really awesome. All right, so we did our coaster. We talked a little bit about making mug rugs in the design center and using the Move It foot for the sandwich of the coaster and things like the velvet clutch. And then we talked about the decorative stitches. And that's what I have for you today. And I'm done early. So now what happens? Yeah. Any questions? But I can show you anything you'd like to see if there's anything else you might like to see on here. I have, just not up here with me. Yeah, just open that suitcase right there. How's that? All right, we're going to show you a few more things. That's okay. That's okay. All right, let me just grab these and I can talk. Okay. Okay. All right. So we've grabbed a few more things here to talk about because we're not ready to move on to the next person. And I lost my microphone. All right. Okay. I got plenty to talk about. So let me start with something I took out of the machine. Now, can we go back and forth between the two cameras? All right. Go. You're on the front now? Okay, so let me stay on the front and then I'll come back to this. So here is the one I was talking about, making some blocks out of decorative stitches. So this is all Mickey Mouse stitching. This is all sewing. So you've got your pin cushion and your machine and your scissors and your threads. And this is all birthday party. There's so many. And then I did the automatic quilt sashing around each block. So this was all done for me on the machine. All I had to do was tell it how long, how wide, and how thick the actual sashing was. And it did all of the math for me and configured how big the stitch needed to be to go around that particular sashing. And I have 3 different patterns on here. So that's another thing you can create with your decorative stitches and then add to it. This is a design built into the machine, but I turned it into an applique. I gave the outline of this design a cutting assignment so that I could send it to my ScanNCut and it would just cut the hand out. And then I went ahead and just stitched the details on top of it and left some of the rest of it out. But you'll see around the background is another fill stitch. That's all done in the design center. and it's around my pattern. It's not under it or over it. It will, by a click of a button, and I will show that in another session, how you can just fill around something that you put on the machine. So here is ducks and hedgehogs and bees, decorative stitches. Here's the planes, trains, boats, and cars for a possible block thing. Then I did some more of the sashing, like I showed you around those 3 blocks done with decorative stitches. And these each have 2 different sash patterns. Again, I just tell the machine how long, how wide, and how thick, and it does all the math for me. One of these is a 2-color sashing design. The other is a 1-color. Same thing on this one. One is a 2-color and one is a 1-color on these sashings around. So the quilting was done with that. Then I did what I call faux thread painting, because I'm not that artist that can thread paint and make something look amazing. So I know it's hard for you to see, but each one of these reeds or leaves has been stitched on, and I did all that in the design center. All I did was draw lines, and I can show you that, like I said, in another segment. And then, so all of these are actually thread painted, faux thread painted. So that was fun to do. Also, the decorative stitches that I talked about. This one here has decorative stitches on the small sashing pieces. And literally, you can do the decorative stitches in the sewing side, or you can do it in the embroidery side. So you choose which way you want to go. And it's very easy to add these up, measure how big you want it to be, and size it accordingly. Put it on the machine, put the projector on, and fit it into your little sashing, and then you filled in decorative stitches. Now for the big borders, I actually did an original design. So I took some pictures of Christmas things. So I have the word joy on here. I have a candy cane. I have a cardinal. I have a poinsettia and a reindeer. And I just drew those. I didn't draw them. I traced them on a piece of paper and took a picture of it, sent it to my Luminaire, and it turned it into a stitch file for me. And then I did 4 versions so that I could move them and not have a repeat pattern. And, you know, it's hard to find those different pieces in here, but that's how that was done. And I did it with gold metallic thread for Christmas. And each one of these has quilting around them. And again, done in the design center very easily. And there are new designs in the Luminaire. That's the only place you'll find them. So that was my Christmas wall hanging. Who knows if it's going to get hung up this year? I don't know, but okay. Are we closer to, okay, then I will talk a little more. Oh, I don't want to do 10 minutes. So let me show you a couple more things that I've done in the design center. So these are, this was created completely from scratch in the design center, just using shapes that are in there and then assigning stitches to the different pieces of the pumpkin or the leaves or the stem. And it was just fun to do. And I used all of the, not all, a lot of the tools in Design Center to bring them in and rotate them and size them and assign the different stitches to. So you can create anything you can imagine, because there's tons of shapes in there to start with. I started with a circle and then it became a pumpkin. So there's, that can be really fun in the Design Center. Then I did some letter editing. In this machine, you can letter edit, meaning all different fonts, all different sizes, all different colors, all different angles. You can create artwork with lettering. So I did just a little bib, and the name is all one font, but different colors. But these are all different fonts just for fun. just because you can. And I had a couple other pieces that I can show you some of that. And then I'm going to go to one more thing that I did here. This is the Greek lettering built into the machine, but it's a stitch out. I saw that look. She's like, really? Okay, so let me really quickly, this is going to move on me, show you where that is and how I turned it into an applique instead of a stitch out, because I didn't want to stitch out. So in the large letters, we have our Greek letters right here. And this is the one I used, and it's a stitch out. Are we on? Okay, hold on. I'm back on the screen. I'm sorry. I am. He's coming. They said it was on the other's camera. I'm on the screen here. Okay. All right. So let me go back and show you where that was. These are the large letters, and this is the alphabet that I used. And I did alpha, gamma, delta. I'm just going to start with alpha and set alpha. And then I sized it to whatever size I decided to do. I think I just left it as it was. But that's a stitch out. I don't want to stitch out. So I looked at what each of these letters were. Like, okay, there's an outline and it's green on here. Here's an outline that's, no, that's green. That's the stitch out. This is green and this is blue. And I figured out that the blue was the most outer stitch. So then I went to my color palette, and the one that says embroidery, if I pull it up, there's a pair of scissors right there. And I assign that to be, now it looks like a pair of scissors. It's going to stitch, but it'll also cut, because I can send that to ScanNCut and it only reads my cut lines. So that's how I cut out my Greek letters. And then I came back and I let it stitch, which stitched on it because there's one that's smaller than that outline. So it worked really well. And then I assigned all the quilting to go around it and just made a little zipper bag. That's how easy it is. But you can assign cut lines to anything as long as it's a real outline. Makes sense? Cool. Now, any questions? Because you know something about this. I know you do. It's like, I've never seen that lettering in there. Right? But that's why you can just start with whatever there is, but go someplace completely different for the fun of it. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything else you'd like to see? Yeah. Yes. Right. Right. So all of these samples that are out here, they were all quilted on here from in the design center. All of them. So you can choose different quilt patterns. So you're custom quilting basically. And then I did free motion his beard, but trust me, that was not hard. They're pretty much straight lines. And I used my Move It Foot because I was on a sandwich and I didn't want it moving around. So that was easy. So again, there's custom quilt designs on that Halloween one there. There's a custom on the hearts, the leaves, and some of these are just...
Attendees and exhibitors, International Quilt Festival is now closed for the day. We are closed for the day. Hours for tomorrow will be 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Exhibitors, you can't get it beginning.
I thought it went till 10.
Leave your trash in the aisle for pickup. We thank everyone for coming to preview night for International Quilt Festival, and we ask your cooperation. Always as soon as possible, so we can secure it. Thank you, and have a safe and pleasant evening.
Okay, good.
Hey, go Houston Astros!
What?
Nice job.
We're over the bias here at the International Quilt Festival.
When you come from the theater, you know how to do it. You just go. You're welcome. I'm glad to answer any questions you might have.
All right, y'all. So that was the first preview day for the Quilt Fest. I don't know about y'all, but I am super, super excited about the rest of the weekend. This was just a preview, so we've got plenty more coming, and we're nearing around about 3 hours of video right now. So thank you. Thank you so much to everyone who has stuck with us and watched throughout today. Make sure that you are back at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow, because we are going to be broadcasting all day starting at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. We're going to be broadcasting until around about 7. Our schedule tomorrow, we've got Laura Starr to start the day. We've got So Steady, a bunch of brother demonstrators and demonstrations, a really fantastic presentation by the Sewing Machine Project, and then we are going to be closing it out with 2 of our pre-recorded demonstrations. So please don't miss those. Oh, I am so excited for you to see what we've got going on for the rest of the weekend. So stay tuned. And with that in mind, I want all of you to take care and have a fantastic evening. Have a fantastic evening. And we will see you all again tomorrow. Good night, everybody.